see through, so I can see your heart. The night can never come soon enough for me. I watch the skies all day. Night is where I find you and peace of mind. You days are filled with grief. That's why I truly give you what you need, because you love me for me. Good runs all through you, I can't help myself. You found my weakest spot, the better woman to breathe and sleep next to. That's why I'll always be with you. Yes, I'm funny like a clown, but I'll never down as long as you're around. There will never be a duller one for me. That's why you're shining beneath me. Oh, you'll never have to beg me to come to bed. I'll walk you there each night. And if you want me to, baby, that's what I will do. That's why I'll always be with you. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wanna see you one more time. You'll never have to beg me to come to bed. I'll walk you there each night. If you want me to, baby, that's what I will do. That's why I'll always be with you.
Just warming up to the know. Z-Ride and Roro. Sue. What's up, Sue? You flies, nigga. T-Ride. You say drink. Good one, wait.
New day, same thing. People in the streets, but the government, they ain't doing the damn thing.
Turn up.
I drove in liquor stores and photos and 24. Where I'm from, that's what we live for.
Yeah, we're about to get started for today. Thank you very much for joining. It is approximately 9:47 a.m. EST US time, 9:47 East Coast USA time in the morning, and 3:47 Central European time in the afternoon. What's up, everybody? It's been some updates, and I'm sure a lot of y'all got some of the updates already, but we're just going to go through some of the latest updates before we get the new ones coming in. Today is day 5 of the ELIGIO Bishop, aka Nature Boy, trial in the U.S. in Atlanta. in Georgia, actually. That's DeKalb County, Georgia, if I'm correct. And he is up for some charges. One of them being rape of a member, an ex-member, or alleged member of Carbon Nation, and the other one is false imprisonment. When you keep somebody against their will, and then there's 3 charges of distributing revenge porn. And folks can Google what those things are, the technicalities and everything. But we're just going to start off by going over some of the brief headlines regarding that, and then go into some of the actual testimony from several different streamers that have been covering it. And it looks like it's been some interesting moments. So let me see here. Let me get the first one up here. See if we can take a look. Anybody that wants to hop up on the panel, you can hop up if you got anything to add or just want to express yourself. Actually, a lot of times folks is just pissed off about this kind of stuff even existing, and we got to give people a platform to share their feelings, to communicate their thoughts, even if they don't always agree. So when you hop up, please be respectful of other people and the audience. We try not to do a bunch of N words and B words and all of that stuff here. We don't want to double down on negative stereotypes. So when you do hop up, or when you are in the chat, please make sure you're respectful of others, and then you can hop up and share your views. A lot of times we learn from differing views. So y'all know my views, but if not, I'm going to share my views too. But so here we go. Let me see. Hop up on the panel. Boom. There we go. So we got that covered. Now let's get down to business. Let's see here. Let's go. Let me bring this back. Double check a few things. Here we are. Bow.
We are turning our attention now to a trial we've been following out of Georgia. We're calling it the polygamous cult leader trial, and the defendant is ELIGIO Bishop. He's charged with raping a woman who wanted to leave his religious group called the Carbon Nation. Let's take a look back on this case. Court TV anchor Ted Rowlands has the background.
In this video, I will be teaching you how to think. And I know a lot of people are already saying, mind control.
The alleged cult leader of Carbon Nation, ELIGIO Nature Boy Bishop, was arrested after a former cult member claimed he posted revenge porn after she left him.
But truly, I'm a really sweet person. They want to crucify me, they want me dead. They're going to hate around me. They're still That's like any other prophet. Only me, I'm the return of Christ.
Carbon Nation is a polygamous group that believes in nudism, sexual education, veganism, and that members hand over all financial information to their leader, ELIGIO Bishop. He has amassed significant followings on YouTube and Instagram. A former member of his group spoke with an Atlanta news station.
He literally held me hostage. He took all of my identification, my passport, my birth certificate, my social, my bank cards, everything, you name it.
Court documents claim in March of 2022, Bishop raped one of his members after refusing to let her leave. He then posted, the allegation says, the videos onto his social media pages.
So it's like, lock up all the real men. Or all the dominant males. Let's lock them all up. You know what? I still forgive her.
Bishop is charged with rape, false imprisonment, and 3 charges of prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions. He's pled not guilty, claiming she consented to participating in the sexual act and has never held anyone against their will.
I want to apologize if I offended anybody in any kind of way. I said it, the truth, in the wrong way. I stand by everything that I stand by.
Earlier today, the jury heard from ELIGIO Bishop in the form of a police interview that he gave after the charges against him that involve a former member of his cult Carbon Nation. But according to Bishop, who refers to himself as a god, the act was consensual and done for educational purposes.
I have a video showing how we did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when she's like she's like literally going through the spiritual journey. It's a spiritual video, like showing that the vagina, like it was really like an educational thing, right? And so I had the whole footage, like literally, like, and when she left, she was mad, and then she just flipped on me and said revenge porn. Because what happened was on my Twitter, when she left, I thought she wanted to leave. I was like, oh God. So when she left, they was still on Twitter. So she said, she didn't ask me, she didn't call me and say, can you take that down? Because we did that together, can you take that down? She didn't do that. She just said revenge porn. And I know it's my haters, saying you should get on this. They're literally doing everything they can to put me in jail.
Well, let's bring back in Wendy Patrick, who is standing by, prosecutor, trial attorney, and author. Wendy, this is a unique type of trial for us to cover here on Court TV. We do have other cases that involve people in alleged cults. We have a man here who had a lot of female followers, and his defense, you even see him nodding along with this statement that he made about people hating him, people coming against him just because they don't like what he's doing, and this is all for education. How do you go about educating a jury on a world that they are not familiar with when we hear the term cult?
Right. Julia, your skepticism is well-founded because we are very skeptical when we not only hear the term cult, but hear that any sexual activity was done for educational purposes. This is a world those jurors don't live in. And this is why expert witnesses make the big bucks, is they have to come in and try to explain. And by expert, let's put that word in quotes, because it can be anybody with experience in this kind of background. It can be somebody that's been in a cult or has studied it or teaches it at the local university, or is an expert witness testifying as to the interpersonal dynamics that overcome the will and the persuasion of cult members. And that appears to be part of the narrative here. But at the end of the day, those jurors go home to their own lives, and they do carry the burden of trying to make a decision in a world that they know nothing about, and where terms like the word cult are so loaded personally, professionally, politically, and not in a positive fashion.
That's very much true. We are going to be following the evidence as this jury continues to hear it and bring you updates.
Kære studerende, vi har talt, vi har lyttet. Derfor har vi i år lavet et helt nyt medlemskab.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me see here. My only thing with Velvet is if he kept her documents, then how she leaves several times and come back. And many of his members were able to leave and still come back. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good question to ask. It's worth asking. For me, I don't know what that implies, really. The fact that they could go and come back, several times. But yeah, there is some issues here. We were discussing this yesterday. There's some issues with the fact that, there's one thing to be a victim, right? And then there's one thing to be a participant. And in this type of situation, there seems to be people that can be held liable also for their own activities. Now, as far as coming back and forth, if you didn't participate in harming someone else and you are just confused, have no place to go, maybe experiencing psychological effects like from the group, like Stockholm syndrome, love bombing, a lot of these people, as we went over yesterday, the expert said that what happens is that when people are coming into the group, they're being love bombed. And that means they're getting extra amounts of love that they may have never gotten before in their life. And that's the introduction. And then from there, things go downhill. And then they get confused because they keep thinking like a drug that they're going to get that love again at some point after getting the abuse. And sometimes it takes people more longer time to figure that out. But I'm not saying that's what this was, but judging by what the expert said, the expert cult witness that they had there testifying, it seems like that might be a part of it, just people being confused, But it's worth asking, and these people should be asked those questions, It shouldn't be any doubt about what's been going on. People need to speak up, and and people need to ask the tough questions to them also. Now let me see here. Who there was somebody had a live. Was it Neek? Was it Neek at night that had a live on this yesterday? Let me see. Woman breaks down during the trial coverage. 24. That was it right there. Let me stop here. Boom. Get this one queued up for everybody. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Any other thoughts? And also there was by the T, they released some videos of the sister. Did anybody have a chance to see that? We went over a little bit of that yesterday, and got a little bit of feedback, but I didn't see the whole thing. So yeah, so we're gonna talk about that too. I'm gonna cue that one up afterwards. Now check this out. This is Neek at night, and her coverage. She's been covering this heavy, and so I'm going to give some commentary, and then some of my comrades, regulars, going to come up here and give their commentary also on some of the things that comes out in the deliberations. So let's see here. Let's let this pop a little bit. Here we go. Y'all know Neek at night. I'm gonna drop that in the chat also for folks to be able to check out her show. Here we go. Neek at night's coverage. Here we go. Boom. Yeah, so y'all can go through and subscribe to her or press like, click on the video, what have you. Here we go. Now let's let it ride from here. Oops. Seemed like she got this in segments, so. This is 21 hours ago, y'all.
All right, so like I said, the next witness is going to be his partner, and she is not going to be shown on the screen per the court. Certain witnesses they are showing, certain witnesses they want to protect. So being that, her story is like, she went there and she had her V card, and then she tells a story about how he took her V card. Those are things that they talked about in the evidentiary hearing. So I know that that's going to come up here. So we're not going to see her. We're just going to hear her, and we're going to get into what she has to say about her time with Nature Boy and how all of that went.
And are you familiar with ELIGIO Bishop?
Yes.
When did you first learn of Mr. Bishop?
I first learned of Mr. Bishop in around Thanksgiving of 2017.
How old would you have been at that point in your life?
23 years old.
And what was going on in your life at that point?
I was working and in school and going through just issues in relationships and where I wanted to be and go in my life, like who I wanted to become and what I wanted to do with my life.
And how did you find Mr. Bishop and his group?
I found him on Facebook.
Okay. And I guess when did you, how did you first begin to engage with them?
So I first saw a video of the group in May 2017. And then later on that year, around Thanksgiving in 2017, I saw a video of Mr. Bishop teaching. And then that's when I went on his timeline and saw that those people were actually living with him and they were all part of the same group.
And what did you think of that?
I thought it was beautiful that they were living in the tropics and living off the land, like eating fruit off the trees in Costa Rica and being able to live freely and have this knowledge of themselves and of what life and reality is and have this community lifestyle.
Is that what was appealing about the life that he offered?
Yes, definitely. That's what was most appealing.
When did you leave home to go stay with the group?
I left on December 10th, 2017.
And where was the group located at that point?
They were located in Texas.
And how was it arranged for you? I guess, where were you geographically before you left to go to Texas?
I was living in Seattle, Washington.
So how was it arranged for you to get from Seattle to Texas?
So I spoke with one of the members there. He reached out to me on Facebook, and we started chatting back and forth. And then he FaceTimed me, and Eligio got into the frame, and he was like, "If you're coming, you better come now. We're about to leave. We're about to go to Belize." And so I bought my plane ticket.
And that conversation with Mr. Bishop on the FaceTime, was that the first time that you had directly communicated with him, or had y'all talked before that?
That was the first time.
When you arrived in, was it Houston, or what part of Texas?
I'm not sure what part of Texas it was.
When you arrived in Texas, how did you get from the airport to the group?
The entire group came to meet me at the airport.
And what was that like?
It was like a lot of love. Like, they showed up, they all got out of the cars that they were in. They all gave me hugs. They were smiling. They were saying, "Welcome home." Yeah, it was like very warm, like a warm welcome.
And how long did you all stay in Texas before you went to Belize?
It was about 2 or 3 weeks we stayed there.
Did you bring personal belongings with you?
Yes, I brought just like clothes, you know, all the cards, like debit cards and credit cards I had, my ID. I didn't have a passport, but like my birth certificate, all that stuff, like I brought.
And what happened were you able to keep your belongings when you joined the group?
So they checked my bags, and they told me what I couldn't have there and what I could. So like they threw away stuff that was like my sketchbooks and things that we didn't believe in, and they wanted me to hand over my credit cards, my debit card, and stuff like any money, cash I had.
Crazy.
How much cash or money did you bring with you?
I think it was about $700 total.
And within the group, did you go by your legal name?
So that the first night, Eligio told, like, he looked at me and he was like, "I want to figure out what to name you." And I can't remember if it was that night or not, but he ended up giving me the name.
And how was your relationship with Eligio when you first got there?
There wasn't really a relationship. He kind of communicated to other people that he would want to communicate to me. I remember posting on my Instagram things like memes or quotes and stuff like that. And he told one of the guys to call me into his space, like where he was. And he told me, like, where did you find these quotes from that you're posting? And this is my teachings. Why didn't you acknowledge me when you posted that? You know, so it was like kind of the first interactions with him was just like him establishing himself. I think to me, as like he's the leader.
Were there rules within the group?
Yes, yeah, there were a lot of rules.
How did you come to learn about those rules?
Like the first night, I was given like a tour of like this is how we do things. They were telling me like when we go to the bathroom, we go outside, number 1 and 2. If you like toilet paper, like you could use 2 squares of toilet paper to go number 1.
What? Y'all hearing this? Oh my goodness, man! They got rules about how many pieces of toilet paper you can use.
6 squares of toilet paper to go number 2, and if if you wanted to use the bathroom inside the house, like you couldn't use the toilet or the shower, or just the sink. And you had to keep the door either propped open or unlocked because there was no.
This is like a prison, y'all. That actually, the prosecution is really asking some questions that's going to really, really seal Homeboy's fate. Because when you start describing what the lifestyle is like, that leads to the imprisonment. Then when you add in the brainwash part of it, the beatings and all of that stuff, yo,
It was like a no lock door policy. If you wanted to go into the kitchen, you had to be permitted to go into the kitchen.
what's up, Shaka?
You weren't allowed to cook, unless you were given permission.
When you say given permission, like where would this permission come from?
I'm stuck on the 6 squares of tissue for number 2. Like y'all literally 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh
5.
shit!
That ain't enough. 6 is not enough to wrap around my hand and wrap around my hand and wrap
Oh
around
no,
my hand some more. Like it gotta be a whole little wrap around to be able to. 6 ain't enough.
yo, 6 is what you doing when you running out of toilet paper. You ain't got no toilet paper left. It's 6. Come on, what's good? What's up with this? And look where they had to go. I ain't gonna rewind it, but damn, they have rules about going to the toilet, y'all.
For number 2 and 2 squares for number 1. What is this, like a 15
Yeah,
ply
please like the
tissue
video,
that you
y'all.
only
Like
put
the
in the
video
bag?
so more people can see it.
Anyway, that's crazy.
It would come from Mr. Bishop.
And did those rules remain consistent throughout the entire time you were in the group?
Yes, and more rules were added on as time went by.
What about rules with like who you could be in a relationship with or date? Were there rules related to those topics?
Yes, like if when I originally came there, I came and I was with someone in a relationship that was there. That's the guy I was talking to on Facebook. And I had to.
Just so we're clear, what was that guy's name?
Oh, his name, his code name, like the name he was called in the group.
Sure.
It was On at the time, and it changed to Tron.
Okay. So you had a relationship going with him when you joined the group?
Yes.
Okay. And all right. So then you were explaining the rules, and I interrupted. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Also, in order to not be in a relationship with him anymore, I had to bring it to Eligio and tell him I don't want to be in a relationship with him anymore. And then, Eligio would say, okay, well, what he did say was, okay, well, I know someone else that you can be with. And then he basically set me and this other person up together, and then we had like this little ceremony where it was like a wedding, because there was no boyfriend and girlfriend. You were either wife and husband or you're not together, and you had to be with someone. You couldn't be by yourself. So it was always like you had to ask permission to not be with someone or to be with someone. And if he wanted you to not be with that person and break up, that's what had to happen.
And were there times that there would just be no relationships?
There was times when he would say, like, I want all of the women to be separate from the men. And then he would just be with the women and the men would be separate.
Were folks within the group able to say no to Mr. Bishop?
No, I don't think so.
And what would happen if somebody did?
It would be a major issue to disagree with him. It would be like hours of meetings. Like if you would disagree with him, he would bring it to a meeting. He would always say like, okay, well, prove to me how you're right and I'm wrong. And so you would think that you're getting into this meeting and you have facts to like bring up why what you're saying is, a valid argument, but he would always dominate the conversation. And then you would end up basically just giving in like, fine, you're right. Or everyone else being like, yeah, we agree with him, you're wrong. And then towards my last years being there, like the last kind of months being there, actually, it was just like, if you anything you did to disagree with him, you would just get slapped, you would just be physically harmed, you sometimes jumped, it just, yeah.
And just so we can set up the timeline, when did you ultimately cut ties with the group?
In April of 2022, after Mr. Bishop's arrest.
So the time period where you're saying the last few months before you left, would that have been early 2022?
Yes.
All right, anything else, witness?
Were in fact acts of sexual assault. If so, you must
A 15-ply tissue that you only need to, like, anyway, that's crazy.
What's up, Ralph?
And
What's going on, V?
remain consistent throughout the entire
Yeah,
time?
man. Let me pause this. Just checking out this witness is going to break down on the stand apparently, and this is Neek at Night's coverage of the witness testimony. So let me just show you what this is real quick.
Oh, the witness broke down on the stand.
Yes, bro.
I was calling for it. I said they all guilty. The Damon.
Look, it says woman breaks down on the stand. Nature Boy trial coverage. This is how many hours ago was this? This is
What you mean she broke down? When she broke down, start confessing, or she broke down and just broke down?
Just 21 hours ago. We're gonna find out. This is just after our stream, so this is yesterday's coverage. The T. This is the T from the end of the trial date yesterday, and so there's the trial that is currently going on right now. But you know they locked it down, so the T ain't coming out for today's footage for another 5 hours basically, because they got to edit it and block the names out and all of that. So yeah, but this is yesterday, and it says woman breaks down on stand. I don't know how she broke down though, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna hear it.
She hope she was sweating. Hope she was crying, sweating, and a weave falling out.
I mean, you don't know. We never know because that's the nature of the Nature Boy cult here. You see what I mean? Like there's all types of things can happen. You never know. Like you said before, they even had 2 women flying a drone over to give them some weed and a cell phone, allegedly, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Why
Then back in the day, one of them jumps went home and then was like, nah, I'm leaving my family and going back. One of them jumps did that.
Yeah. Oh, well, that happens with this type of trauma, brother. Like you heard yesterday, the love bombing. You know, you were here yesterday.
So all of them got Stockholm. They all victims and kidnapping each other.
I put it to you like this: it ain't gonna work for everybody. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see how many of them.
All right, now since I'm saying it's gonna work for everybody.
You think so?
Yeah. They all. You know what? They sticking together. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them.
What they say, that's that's what
they got shameful ways. They got shameful ways, V. I'm not applauding the shameful, disgusting, wild, creepy stuff they are. I'm not. I'm supporting their teamwork together. If they're allowed to abuse and love each other the way they do it and stay calm and respect each other, that's their relationship. As long as he ain't touching no babies, you know what I'm saying? If he's touching babies out there, that's what they do out there, maybe they should be away from society where they do that. Like they should get people like that.
But look, Ralph, we don't know. We don't know.
What I'm saying, you don't know.
We don't know where this is turning to. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be anywhere. I mean, it already. I don't know. I must say, you heard the sister also give on the Tease network. She's not called as a witness, I don't believe, but you heard her give some words. The alleged sister, right? You heard that, right?
I heard some of it.
Yeah, we was watching that yesterday too.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And she's talking about homeboy was trying to get her involved in incest. like sleeping with her, like saying that he was trying to sleep with his own sister, marry his own sister, have sexual relations with
Yeah.
his own sister.
I know Miss Andrea was kind of saying she didn't think that. I didn't take it that far how that was said, but I do remember that being said. But that could be a possibility because people be sex addicts. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know what kind of creepy things people might be into these days. You know what I'm saying? People get a little extra in their household. So I'm not a part of people's household, but I do like to talk about what's going on if it's public.
Exactly. All right, so let me roll this and let's hear some more.
Please let a wig fall off or get sweaty. Please.
Then more rules were added on as time went by.
What about rules with like who you could be in a relationship with or date? Were there rules related to those topics?
Yes, like if I when I originally came there, I came and I was with someone in a relationship that was there. That's the guy I was talking to on Facebook.
You heard wrong, Sister Empress. We didn't say somebody said he wanted to marry his daughter. We said it was his alleged sister on the Tease network said that. Yeah, but okay. But are you trying to say that or what? I don't know. Let's listen to this testimony though.
And I had to
just so we're clear, what was that guy's name?
Oh, his name, his code name, like the name he was called in the group.
Sure.
It was On at the time, and it changed to Tron.
Okay, so you had a relationship going with him when you joined the group?
Yes.
Okay, and all right, so then you were explaining the rules and I interrupted. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Also, in order to not be in a relationship with him anymore, I had to bring it to Eligio and tell him I don't want to be in a relationship with him anymore. And then, Eligio would say, okay, well, what he did say was, okay, well, I know someone else that you can be with. And then he basically set me and this other person up together, and then we had like this little ceremony where it was like a wedding, because there was no boyfriend and girlfriend. You were either wife and husband or you're not together, and you had to be with someone. You couldn't be by yourself. So
what you think about that, Ralph? She's saying you had to be with someone in there. You can't be by yourself. What you think that's all about?
Keeping a unity. That's what that's about to me. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds tribal. It sounds like he's trying to live a Pan African. Excuse me. They trying to live like an African or cultural type of way of life. It sounds like they are young people trying to get it together, but doing some wild effed up stuff because they're probably on them shrooms and making that strong liquor and flying drones. And
Yo, bro, look at this. Okay, I got that wrong. Empress Y said the MB is not nobody. I'm so silly. I'm sorry about that, Empress Y. Thank you for clarifying. She said Nature Boy, MB is Nature Boy, said he wanted to marry his own daughter. Yes, brother. So again, you don't that's leaning towards, that's what I was saying, Rob. We don't know where this is turning. Is it
yeah,
turning
this
pedophilia?
is crazy.
It's like shit, bro.
Yeah, yo, it's crazy. And look, I ain't even saying, I'm hitting this gas. I shouldn't be smoking though, but it's been a while. So, and I still got a sore throat, but I'm thinking as I'm hitting this gas, I'm like, he the leader. They all gotta be with somebody. So it's not like, and you have a choice. The junk went home. This dude is so probably been molested, abused, all kind of stuff. I think he said uh he's been by a dude. He been in the committee. He with them people with the letters and stuff like that. He with them. He said that I think that I heard something or seen something where he said that happened. And then after them people got him, you don't know what he might be into now. You know what I'm saying? So he his own person and he a leader, and they all taking that pole from everybody. Everybody getting a pole. That's all that's going on. Everybody
Yes.
sharing poles. This is what all boils down to, sharing poles.
All right, let's hear some more. Let's see. What's up, Shaka?
it was always like you had to
What's
ask
up?
permission to not be with
What's going
someone,
on, Shaka?
be with someone.
Hey, Rob, how you doing, brother?
I know I'm sounding a little immature right now, but I think I'm making sense of it.
Well, there's one thing I was wondering about. I don't know if you seen that message in the chat. Empress, I think she wrote that she that came out of Nature Boy's mouth. So I don't know if you want to ask her if there's any video or audio of that.
No, he didn't say some. He said a lot of things I don't approve of. I ain't with it. I don't want to go nowhere now. Yeah, that ain't my cup of tea.
No. But is she? Yo, I wonder, Empress. Is there a video of that where he says that? If you know of it, share the link so we can rock it, so we can play it. But she's saying she heard him say that. So yeah, Nature Boy NB Nature Boy said he wanted to marry his own daughter, and when you marrying somebody, that means you trying to get down.
Y'all have you played the video yet where he said he'll let his child hold on his wood after making love to the mother?
Matter of fact, why we even exactly?
That's what I'm saying. He already crossed that line. Ben crossed that line. With me, I don't know what. And this is because he said that's bullshit. He talking about letting babies play with shit.
It's because we don't want to. Nobody naturally imagines something so nasty. But
That's crazy. You're right.
All right, let's play this shit. Yeah, sister, if you got that link, please drop it, and we're gonna play that one too. Oh my god,
It won't show, BB, because she's not a mod, so it will not show. She will see it, but nobody else will see it if she posts it in the chat.
Then she could write the name and the location. Just write the page we got to go to and the name of the video. Yeah, that'll work. Or she can hop up. You can hop up and throw it in the back chat. Then it'll work. It'll work. Yeah. All right. Let's hear some more of this. Let's see. By the way, we watching. Y'all can see this, right? This is Neek at Night's coverage of the witness testimony. A woman. She is about to break down. So we want to hear that and just see what that constitutes. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go.
And were there times that there would just be no relationships?
There was times when he would say like, I want all of the women to be separate from the men, and then he would just be with the women, and the men would be separate.
Were folks within the group able to say no to Mr. Bishop?
No, I don't think so.
And what would happen if somebody did?
It would be a major issue to disagree with him. It would be like hours of meetings. Like if you would disagree with him, he would bring it to a meeting. He would always say like, okay, well, prove to me how you're right and I'm wrong. And so you would think that you're getting into this meeting and you have facts to like bring up why what you're saying is, a valid argument, but he would always dominate the conversation. And then you would end up basically just giving in like, fine, you're right. Or everyone else being like, yeah, we agree with him, you're wrong. And then towards my last years being there, like the last kind of months being there actually, it was just like, anything you did to disagree with him, you would just get slapped, you would just be physically harmed, you sometimes jumped, it just, yeah.
And just so we can set up the timeline, when did you ultimately cut ties with the group?
In April of 2022, after Mr. Bishop's arrest.
So the time period where you're saying the last few months before you left, would that have been early 2022?
Yes.
What did members of the group call Mr. Bishop?
In the beginning, when I first got there, we called him Master Teacher. Then he wanted to be called Father to.
They called him Master Teacher, yo. Master Teacher, okay.
Mr. Bishop?
In the beginning, when I first got there, we called him Master Teacher. Then he wanted to be called Father to Hootie. Then he wanted to be called Chief. Then he wanted us to call him our Lord and Savior. And then Babaji, and then eventually he wanted us to call him, the women, he wanted us to call him Poppy, or God. Everyone had to either call him God or three God by the end.
And safe to say that his title sort of evolved over time.
Yes.
How did the defendant refer to the rest of the outside world?
The outside world was hell. It was Babylon. It was everyone outside of the cult was in their lower self. So they were like an unevolved.
Yo, VB,
Somebody
Yeah,
that didn't have knowledge of self.
do you know if the volume is to the maximum right now on the video?
yeah. It's to the max, man. Hold on, let me
Oh,
see
all
here.
right, thank you. All right, thank you.
Yeah, it's to the max. Yeah, it is a little low, so y'all got to turn your stuff up. Sorry, and ours is probably a little louder because, yeah, the system we rocking on. But notice how all them cults be doing that. It don't matter if you were the Hebrew Israelites, they be teaching you out there hell. Everybody else is hell. Your parents is Satan. Your family Satan. Everyone else is part of the Babylon. All these cults do that, man. And he just one dude. Actually, that's what's crazy about him. And he's teaching and rocking the same techniques on these people, man.
And how did Mr. Bishop look at folks communicating with their family or friends that were outside of the group?
Originally, like for me personally, he told me not to tell my family I was leaving home because he said they wouldn't understand. Don't tell your right hand what your left hand is about to do. They're going to try to talk you out of it. So when I got there, before I left, I ended up blocking all of my family members' numbers. And when I got there, my family was obviously worried and stuff like that. So I told them, ended up calling them and telling them where I was. But out of my 4.5 years of being there, I only talked to my mom a handful of times. I only talked to other family members a handful of times. He really didn't like us talking to outside people. He thought it was just like those people don't understand us. They don't know who we are. They're gonna put things in your ear. They're gonna try to convince you to go back to your lower self. And we really could only talk to family members who were supplying us with money or some type of resource. That was the only time he even wanted us to reach out. Reach out to your people because we need money right now, but not just to communicate with them.
What's up, Tar Pumpkin?
In your time that you were there, did you see other members of the group leave the group during that time?
Yes.
And how would Mr. Bishop respond to the fact that folks were leaving?
People trying to leave the group was it was always just this big drawn out thing. Hours and hours of sitting there going back and forth with the person about why they're doing something wrong, opening the Bible up and showing them these Bible verses that prove that they're going back to their lower self, putting something else before the kingdom of God.
All right, let me pause it right there. You hear that? So he's rocking the Bible up inside of that piece. What you think about that? Either one of y'all.
I will. It kind of go hand in hand. And especially in America, right? So like I said, I just got married, right? Legally, I own my wife, right? But it's wrong for me to say that. But she told me, she's like, baby, you own me now, it's a joke, right? So, through the court system and the Bible and all that, you have property, you going about it a certain type of way. I think he dead wrong for even setting those type of rules as if he was going to become a god or something like that. And I really don't think nothing wrong with the word master. My wife, I'm sorry, my wife called me master. I asked for that name either. I don't want to get too graphic in this house, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But it's cool. But that shit crazy because they on a whole nother level and they think that you can separate yourself from society and perform these acts. That's wild. You know, when you separate yourself like that, like how close to crazy you got to be or isolated you have to be with this person. And that's why I feel sorry for the people that went there. Cause I'm like, you follow some dude out there?
Right. Right. You know, it's just interesting to know that, you know, because obviously I don't know what they're doing up in there, but it's interesting to know that he used the Bible. But look at this. Look, he used the Bible. I guess they rocking. This is like some kind of all
I don't
around
think.
some pieces. You can use anything to you know, right? Any material, any cultural material you want. You can just
And combine it.
right,
I think
right.
that's what they could do. They're combining it all. And because if he's saying he God, I know he calling them goddesses because he's trying to steal young Pharaoh style.
Okay. Right. I got you.
So
Okay.
he's saying it back to them as well because that's what he gonna say when he understand. Like we talk to each other like that.
And here, and I don't know if you can see this picture. He got native
Hmm.
garb on. And he's talking about the Bible. I mean,
Hold
okay.
on, VB. I don't know if you're trying to share, but we. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, no, I was showing the picture. Could you see that picture right there? I was talking about Nature
Yeah,
Boy.
yeah. I seen it. Yes, yes.
Yeah, she said he used part of the Bible up in there, you know, as one of his tools, right? And I'm just like seeing this picture, and I'm just like, okay, wow, that's interesting, you know. But yeah,
He trying to make this mega family. Let's all stay together. Abusive, crazy relationship, and they're all gonna try to plead out to save one another. That's what it feels all together to me. But I'm mad we can't see the picture of the person talking.
yeah, because they want to protect the witnesses and you know the victims, you know, basically, you know. So I guess that's the idea, you know. But on the real, man, you know, it's hard to walk away from these things and not have it affect your life. So I can understand why they don't want to, you know, have their pictures and their names and all of that associated, you know, because how you gonna move on? How you gonna move on from that if ever, you know? But you know, it's up for grabs. To each his own, you know. We're gonna play what we got though. So let me see. Let's go back to see what else.
Their family or their kids or anybody before the kingdom of heaven. So they're gonna end up in hell. And and at the end of their life cycle, when they die, they're gonna have committed the biggest sin, which is to go against the Christ, to go against, you know, the Most High. And at some points, it was like people were jumped, people were physically harmed for trying to leave, for just saying they wanted to leave. A lot of people left in the middle of the night because it wasn't really safe to tell somebody that you wanted to leave.
Your Honor, at this point, I think the limiting instruction that I provided would be appropriate.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need to read you some more information. Remind you that sometimes evidence is admitted for a limited purpose or for some counts and not others. Such evidence may be considered by the jury for the sole issue or purpose and only for the counts for which the evidence is limited and not for any other purpose. In order to prove its case in count 1, rape, the state has offered evidence of other offenses of sexual assault allegedly committed by the accused. You are permitted to consider that evidence for its bearing on any matter to which you find it to be relevant. The defendant is on trial for the offenses charged in this bill of indictment only and not for any other acts, even though such acts may incidentally be criminal. Before you may consider any other alleged acts, you must first determine whether the accused committed the other alleged acts and whether such acts were in fact acts of sexual assault. If so, you must then determine whether the act shed any light on the elements of the crimes charged in the indictment in this trial. Such evidence is, at most, supporting evidence of some issues and may not by itself be the basis of conviction for the case on trial. By giving this instruction, the court in no way suggests to you that the defendant has or has not committed any other acts, nor whether such acts, if committed, prove anything. This is solely a matter for your determination.
Okay, that was witness instruction.
During the time you're in the group, did anything happen that made you believe that the defendant had developed a sexual interest in you? Is it about how long after you got there did that happen?
I would say it was a few weeks, maybe a month, where I heard him say that when he found out I was a virgin, he had asked the universe for a virgin, and
So when he found out she was a virgin, he said he asked the universe for a virgin. Let's go.
implied that, like, he told me that he could open me up.
And was that in Belize at that point?
We were traveling actually, like through Mexico, so we were like in the car.
And did you share his interest in a sexual relationship?
No.
And did you express your feelings to the defendant about whether or not you wanted a sexual relationship with him?
No.
Did he ever act on his interest in you?
Yes.
When did that happen?
When we were in Belize, he's like, me and his wife, or the woman that he was with at the time, Velvet. We got close, we were friends, and he invited me into the tent with them both one night to watch a movie. And I was laying next to her, and he was laying next to her on the other side, and he, like in the middle of the movie, sometime during the movie, he was just told us like he wanted to break my virginity.
And how did you respond?
I don't remember saying anything. I just remember being scared. And he told her that he wanted her to be there and to hold my hand. And I remember her just like being upset and saying she didn't want to do it, and him yelling and saying, "You're gonna do it." And then he turned on music and he broke my virginity.
And were you all like in a city or in the forest, or like where were you?
We were kind of like in a small town in Belize, but we had a house, but we slept in tents.
And in that moment, like, what were you, like, were you, in that moment, like, did you feel like you had options?
No, like he was my higher self. So it's like whatever he wanted from me, whatever he wanted me to do, it's just, I just did.
And how long had you been away from home by that point?
Yeah, this gotta be so traumatizing for a lot of listeners. This dude is, I mean, as he's described, as she's describing him, this dude's a monster, man. You know, it's like I'm having a hard time listening to this myself. I'm sorry, y'all, but let me keep playing it, man. This is Nick at Night's coverage of a woman, one of the victims, one of the witnesses, as she breaks down on the stand in the Nature Boy trial. So let me just let it play.
It has to at least be, it probably was almost 6 months.
And were there other instances of sexual contact between you and the defendant?
After that, yes.
And I guess, did you feel like did you ever develop a romantic relationship with the defendant?
I wouldn't call it a romantic relationship.
How would you describe it?
It was like he wanted to have sex with me when he wanted to have sex with me. And he would just say, like, "I'm really attracted to you right now. I think I'm supposed to give you something," like, because he believed that his sperm or his, he believed that his sperm had higher knowledge in it you know, it was like if you were to swallow it or if you were to take it in, he believed that it would make you smarter, it would make you more enlightened, and so it was like he would say that the universe told him to have sex with certain people at certain times. Sometimes
This is the downloads we were talking about in the other
he
video.
would say that he got this calling, that's what's supposed to happen, and that's what it was. It wasn't like oh, we love each other, so we're gonna, you know.
Was there a time in, I think it was Mexico, that stands out in your mind to the defendant?
Yeah. Yes.
What was going on that day?
So I was with someone else. I was with another guy in the cult. Should I say his name?
Sure.
Okay. Aaron. I was with Aaron at the time. And we were in a relationship together, and Eligio had called me up to his room, and another woman told me that he called, like he told a woman to tell me. And I remember telling Aaron, like, I'm just gonna go up there and see what he wants, like, but I don't want to do anything with him, so it's not gonna happen. And I went up there, and he started just coming on to me and trying to kiss me and touch me. And I told him, I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm with someone else. I don't want to do this with you. And he told me to shut up. And he took me to the bathroom and made me give him oral.
And was anyone else there at that point?
I believe like Velvet came in later, but not at the time.
Not at the time.
Not at the time where he was making moves and doing those things.
Were there any other times in the group that Mr. Bishop forced himself on you?
I want to see his face.
I think that there was never a time where I felt like it was my choice to have sex with Mr. Bishop. I always felt like it was something that I had to do because he was my God, he was my Lord and Savior, and this is what the divine wanted, this is what God wanted at this point in time.
All right, Ralph, you hear that? This guy to her was her Lord and Savior. That's how she's describing him.
I hear it. That's what she believed, right?
That's what she believed. That's what she's stating. She believed that, you know. That's so sad.
It's crazy.
That ultimately maybe I would be more enlightened if I just did it.
I guess you were still part of the group when they left, right?
Yes.
What do you remember about the night before she left?
I remember, I think I remember quite a bit about what was going on at that time. I remember once we had company over, like someone that he knew. And,
was this a guy or a girl?
I think it was a guy and two girls or something like that. And the girls, where we were talking to the girls, all the women were talking to the girls, like not in another room. And I remember, like we just had this thing where it was like outsiders, where we always had to look at them like they were of their lower self, like we couldn't get too close to them. And I remember just getting really friendly with the women that were visiting, and it was like all the other women were looking at her like, you're not supposed to be doing that. And so once they left and everything, it was like an issue that was brought up that she was being too friendly with those women.
So when you say it was an issue that was brought up, did y'all as the other women bring it up, or did Mr. Bishop bring it up?
I believe it was probably one of the women that brought it up because, yeah, I think that he wasn't in the room at that time to even know if that's what was going on.
Gotcha.
But I believe, yeah, when we brought it up, and he then wanted to address it with her and everybody in the room.
Okay. How did he go about addressing it?
So he had this room where he would like sit behind this big desk, and he told everybody to pull up, which is like everybody come, be gather around basically. And he told her to get on her knees, which is just something like, it's like what we had to do to address him all the time. You know, we couldn't be like standing. If he's sitting, we couldn't be standing. We had to be on our knees or on our face or whatever, like just lower than him. And so he told her to get on her knees, and he started addressing her about what happened. She started wanting to explain herself, and he was upset that she was like talking out of turn. Like, you know, he didn't want her to talk in certain moments, like you're not supposed to be talking, why are you talking? But she wanted to explain herself. And then I remember him telling her, like, if you keep talking out of turn, like you're gonna get smacked, like you're gonna get it. And then he said that I'm gonna have Zola slap you, which is another member at the time. And Zola walks behind and just kind of like stands behind her. And then as I don't know what the conversation was between Eligio, but they were kind of like going back and forth, kind of getting like upset because she's not able to express her point. He's saying she's being disrespectful, and she's not moving like we move. She's out of our frequency. I guess she talks out of turn again. Zola just smacks her like hard, like it was a hard smack. And I think like I just like be in shock by that. And then the rest of us just like gathered around, like if she does something, like we're prepared that if we were to try to do something, somebody else is gonna step in because she's just supposed to take that smack, you know.
And was it just that one smack, or what happened next?
I believe after that, like expressed like she doesn't want to be here anymore. She wants to leave. And that's when it started to get like
Jackie, yeah, from what I've been hearing, and please feel free to correct me, that his behavior developed over time, maybe got progressively worse. And so even some of the members, when they saw some of the later videos come out, which they're in, some of them, some of them were shocked by his behavior. That's what's been said. I don't know. I can't verify that myself, but just to put that out there. Yeah, but you're right. I don't expect nothing.
I say like verbally
Evil.
Because excuse me. Because yeah, expressing that you want to leave is just like no. But he was like, he would say like, go pack your bags, like get out of here. But everybody's like harassing her, like you're about to go back to your lower self. You giving up on your journey. You're giving up on yourself. All these things, and we're following her around the house as she's gathering her things and trying to pack up her things, and people are putting a camera in her face, like, look at her, she's leaving, she's going to go back to just being a regular Babylonian, she's going to go, and we're just like harassing her.
And at this point, like, you're participating in that as well.
Yes, and I'm telling her like, oh, you're weak, like you can't even stay here and just take it, like you're weak, you're going to go back to your lower self. And she starts trying to pack as much stuff as she can, but she decided like she's gonna leave her clothes because we start saying, you're gonna take everything back that you brought. Oh, look at you, that's the type of person that you are, really just getting to her. And she gathers her suitcase up and takes it downstairs, and as she's putting on her shoes on the stairs, that's when Eligio starts talking to her, and he's like, see what you're about to do is, you know what you're about to do. You're going to end up coming back anyway. You might as well stay because you're just going to go, what you're going to do, go to your grandmother's house, and then you're going to be upset and realize that you made a mistake going back to hell. Like, you know, just going in on her while she's tying her shoes. You might as well not leave because you know you're going to be right back. She ends up going out the door. Her Uber's outside. She takes her suitcase out to the Uber, and as soon as she gets to the door of the Uber is when I remember someone telling her, like, he wants to talk to you. And then she leaves. I remember her leaving her suitcase outside and coming back in the door and going up the stairs where he was to his room. And then I remember him coming out of his room and taking her into the other third bedroom, door closed, and then
When you say taking her in there, like leading her, they just walked in.
Yeah, leading her. It was leading her.
And were you upstairs at all while they were up in that room?
No, I wasn't. Well, I was, but not when.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ralph. You there?
Oh damn! I got a phone call from my wife, and I was trying to say something. Hold on. So look. All right. Give me a second. Go ahead, run that back. I'm gonna call my wife.
Okay.
I was downstairs. While they had been in there, yeah, but I was upstairs. Well, I was, but not when I saw them going into the room. I was downstairs. While they had been in there, yeah, but I was upstairs in the other room.
And did you like hear anything going on in that room, or arguing, a struggle, anything happening that night?
I didn't hear that, no.
Okay. During your time in the group, I think we know were y'all on social media a lot? Like when you were in Carbonation, was the group present on social media?
Oh, yes, every day.
Yeah. And did you participate in some or
I
all of
don't
those
wanna-
videos?
Yes.
Oh, I don't want to be.
And did any-
Shit, I gotta have my face in the camera. I'm not ready to be on no camera. That's the only thing about that. I didn't put you online just because you have a
anything get posted, to your knowledge, did anything get posted on Mr. Bishop's accounts without him being behind it?
No. In fact, everyone's page had to almost be identical to his, and he would say, like, this is what we're posting today. So you guys are all going to post this, you know. And yeah, he was always in control of what was being posted.
And while you were in the group, and even after Mr. Bishop was arrested, did you say positive things online about Mr. Bishop and the group?
Yes.
And today, as you sit here, do you feel like your views in those videos or interviews accurately reflect what happened in the group?
No, I don't. I feel that I was trying to protect him and his image, and just our image as what I thought was just like, we're Carbonation. We're this, you know, this group of people who just are like-minded and we want to do something different. And so I was trying to protect that whole image, not really looking at the facts of the matter.
All right, we got somebody here. Michelle, how you doing? Are you there?
But do I have to show my face?
There
I
you
don't
go.
really want to.
No, you don't. You can just block it. I seen you already, so go ahead.
Okay. Yes, don't want to take a lot of your time. The last time you did hear echo because I was on Bluetooth. I forgot I had a Bluetooth speaker connected.
Okay.
So now this other comment is that if anybody can cover the trial. It looks like a lot of people want to and don't know how. But the electronic coverage, you have to talk to the assistant to the judge. I'm not saying you're not covering it now, but this is I'm just just want to let you all know, you and anyone else interested, that her name is Tess Darisol, and her extension, I wanted to leave it in the chat, but I didn't know if it was too long. But
What can you put it in the back chat?
yeah, I'm gonna do that right now.
Yeah, Tess, go ahead. You can say her name for others that want to use it, but
Sure. Tess
leave it
is
in the chat.
Darisol, and her number is 404-371-2691, and she is the assistant to Judge Stacy K. Hydrick. And then you want to request that you can electronically cover the trial. I think what's involved is they have to waive something called Rule 22. You want to know what the paperwork is you have to fill out and the rules governing it. And that's all. Wait for her to call you back, though, if you call her. And I'll leave the information in the chat. But what you're doing is fantastic. And what all of you bloggers are doing, even the young lady in the video right now, because if you don't, you have to have a witness to history. And I'm coming at it from that perspective, because then you don't repeat mistakes. And then also they don't tell you things never happen. One day they may say, oh, that never happened. But you'll say, well, I witnessed it with my eyes, and this person was in the courtroom and saw it. So that's the only angle I'm coming at it at. And I'm going to leave her name and number in the chat if
Thank you
and
very
hopefully
much.
it's helpful.
Do you see the private chat button right there to the right?
I'm gonna go back to. I'm just gonna exit this.
No, wait, because you could write it in the chat if you want. Yeah, you could write it in the chat.
Oh, I see. See, I'm really not up to date on technology. I used to teach it, believe it or not. Okay, so you're saying it's a way I can enter the information on this screen.
Yeah, you could put it. You could just put it in the back chat here. It's a place that says private chat. If you look to the right of the StreamYard.
Okay, is that it right there? Oh, okay. Okay, I'll find it. I'm gonna put it in the private chat.
Okay, yeah. If you can't find it, you just put it in the public.
Okay, is it under comments?
No, it's like, yeah, comments. Then it says, and under comments it says private chat.
Oh, it says join the chat. Oh, okay. Oh, well, thanks for teaching me something.
You see that? Yeah, it's
and I'll put my email. It says attach, and I use email, and then it says sign in the StreamYard. I try to stay out of social media, but I guess so I'll just sign in, allow. Yeah. Okay, I'll just type her information there. That's better anyway.
I appreciate
more
that.
Private for her.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll post a comment there.
Yeah, I wrote it down in the back chat too, but you could check it for me just to see if it's correct. But I appreciate that. No doubt.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
good day, everyone. Okay.
You good.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's rock some more of this. Let's see what else the witness is saying.
If I could have just a second here.
Sure.
What do y'all think of the testimony?
When did you leave Carbon Nation? I think you already said, but just so we can end with that.
It was April of 2022.
That's all the questions I have at this point.
Fine. Cross.
Thank you. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. Robert Booker, we've met before.
Yes.
All right. Just a couple questions for you. So going back in December of 2017, that's when you first went into this group. Is that correct?
December 2017.
Okay. And I believe from your testimony before, you had mentioned that you were living in somewhere up in north of the United States, Michigan, or somewhere like that? Seattle, Washington. That's exactly right. And you had just graduated college.
He be getting that wrong on purpose.
I was in school.
You were in college. Okay. All right. And so you came across this group online. You were pursuing some sort of natural lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you came across it online. They fit what you were seeing. And so you ended up leaving school, getting on a plane, and going down to, I believe, Mexico, correct?
So no, I was.
Yeah, that was cross-examination by the witness of the witness by the defense now happening.
Yeah, I was interested in the lifestyle, but I left Seattle and they were in Texas.
In Texas. Okay. So from that time that you left until April 2022, you were with the group the majority of the time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so you did go home at some point.
It's a red
but for the most part, you were with the group.
Yes. For the most part, I was with the group.
Okay. How many times do you think you went home over that time frame?
I went home one time.
Was that when you went with Vel?
Yes.
And with the child that she had?
Yes.
Okay, was that in 2020 or 21?
That was in 2020, I believe.
Okay. And Velvet at that time was married to ELIGIO Bishop. Is that correct? Or was his main girlfriend or whatever?
She wasn't legally married to him yet.
Okay.
Later on that year, she was.
Okay. And the child that she had with her was the child that they had together?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, you indicated, I think, on your direct examination that relationships were sometimes together, sometimes they were not, but it wasn't unusual for males and females to have a relationship unless Mr. Bishop wanted to have a relationship with that female.
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah. So would it be possible for a female to be with another male outside of Mr. Bishop as long as Mr. Bishop didn't want to be with that female?
Yeah, it was unless if they got his permission.
Okay.
To be with that female, then yes.
All right. And when they were with that female, were they with that person on a full-time basis where they would sleep in the same tent or room with them? Or did they sleep separately?
That's what Legio wanted.
Okay.
A lot of times we would sleep as a community.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody
all
just
sleep in the same room. Yes.
Everybody on the floor in the same room?
Yes.
Okay. And that was when you guys were in Texas and various other places, kind of the same rules?
Yes, it was the same.
Okay. And the life that you guys were living at that time, it was for the world basically to see. People were in the lifestyle that was being lived.
It's
right?
red.
What we were doing
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It was recorded and produced almost like every day, right?
A lot of it, yes.
Okay. And was it content that was produced that you said stuff in, Mr. Bishop said stuff in, kind of everybody did, right?
Yeah, I would say majority of the group were involved in the videos, like were present in the videos.
Okay. But Mr. Bishop, the underlying meaning behind the videos, Mr. Bishop was the person who pushed that forward. Is that fair to say? Okay. And what kind of video was going to be made? Did he come up with how it was going to be made or things like that?
He would come up with who's going live today, like who's getting on video today, what they're going to talk about. He would stand behind the camera, and if we said anything that he didn't like, he would gesture to us, or he would gesture to us what we should say or what would sound good and how we should say all that.
Was it scripted?
Not verbatim like scripted, but we had a jargon, like we had a language that we spoke in.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of times things were repeated so much we had the answer for anything because we were saying the same response to
Okay.
that. Yeah.
All right. Was everything that you guys were saying, was it true?
What do you mean? Was it true?
Was the image that you were portraying to the world, was it a true image? Were you guys portraying some fiction?
We were not portraying what was truly going on, like all the time. Some of the things that were recorded were truth. Some of the things weren't. Like how we would say, "Oh, we're out here growing our own food, having,
Can y'all hear that question? He was asking, were some of the things presented, or all of the things presented in those videos true, or were some of them not true? And she's stating that some of them weren't. She's giving an explanation for that, but I'm gonna let it play so y'all can hear.
having this community lifestyle where everybody's happy and everybody's glowing and prospering. That wasn't the truth behind the camera all the time.
A true image. Was the image that you were portraying to the world, was it a true image? Or were you guys portraying some fiction?
We were not portraying what was truly going on, like all the time. Some of the things that were recorded were truth. Some of the things weren't. Like how we would say, "Oh, we're out here growing our own food, having this community lifestyle where everybody's happy and everybody's glowing and prospering." That wasn't the truth behind the cameras. There was a lot of things going on that weren't fitting that image.
Okay.
And then things like where we would put out, where he would put out these things where he would say, "I'm God, and these are my servants. These are the people that I'm out here humiliating, doing these things." Yes, okay, that was actually the truth, what was going on.
Okay.
But it depends on the video.
Okay. All right. Did the videos differ over time where that, like you just mentioned, where he would have a video to say he was God or whatever he said? Was that something that he did for the entire time that you were around him?
It's interesting because when I first found him online, he wasn't saying that I'm God and everybody's living in my mind. You know, this is my world. He wasn't saying that. He was saying that each person was God's creation. Each being is God's creation, and we are all here to honor God's creation. So he would say, like, you're God, I'm God, the bees, the trees are God, you know, the animals are God, all those things are pieces of God. But towards the end of my being there, it was like he's God and everybody else is living in his imagination.
Okay. And that was more toward 2021, 2022 timeframe?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, you indicated that, I'm going to jump forward to March 24th, 2022. You guys were living in a house here in Atlanta at that time, correct?
2020.
22?
2022, yes.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, March 24th, 2022. So, and you were staying at the house at that time as well?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And was living there as well?
I was living there as well.
Okay. And do you know if she was in a relationship with anybody at that time?
At the time of her staying in at the house in Arbor Chase,
yes,
she was with one other guy in the group at that time, like within that time frame of us being in that house.
Was his name Solar?
Yes.
Okay. And so was Solar with someone else also?
He had a relationship with Zoka at one point.
Okay, so he had a relationship with Zoka and with
different times. Sometimes, well, one time it was at the same time.
Okay. Yeah. Was that things when they would have something like the one time at the same time? Was that something that was known throughout the house? Was that like just
polygamy or having multiple wives?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Was the sexual act just done in public also?
The sexual act done in public also. What do you mean?
Well, you just said that he was with. What did you mean that Solar was with Zoka and Janae at the same time, as in he was dating both of them at the same time, or he was having a sexual act with both of them at the same time?
Oh, well, I don't know what they did sexually, but they were in a relationship at the same time.
So he would have a polygamous relationship where he would be with Zoka and at the same time.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so when people were in a relationship like that, would they live within the house in the same area? So if Zoka and Solar and they were together, would they all sleep together on the first floor, second floor, somewhere in the house?
Yes, yes. Everybody, no one really had their own space, so it was always just like but as far as like their little corner that they had at one point to sleep in with them three, they would sleep together.
Okay. Now, when Mr. Bishop would talk on the videos, did he use a more normal tone of voice, or was it a very slow and deliberate and dramatic tone of voice when he would be on the videos?
He would change. I don't think it was all the time the same thing. Sometimes he would get on video and he would have this sweet personality of this charming guy that you couldn't relate to and you could understand. Sometimes he would get on camera and he would be the teacher or the professor or the therapist, or sometimes he would get on there and he would just be yelling and angry and cursing and things like that. And that's how he was. Okay.
All right. And so there will be a wide variety of ELIGIO Bishop on video.
How he don't know his own client name?
Okay. Now, March 24th, 2022, you watched, I think you said Zoka hit in the face, slap her, correct? Yes. Okay. And this was during a time that you guys were sitting around Mr. Bishop's desk and he was pontificating about something. Yes. Is that fair to say? He was upset with.
Yes.
Okay. And upset with him?
No, she was more of just like upset and like not getting her point across. And, like, you know, trying to tell her side of the story. But
Okay. Okay. And so ultimately she gets her bags. She's about to pack and get out there.
yes.
Right. The bags were outside in the shed. She gets her bags and she's getting ready to leave.
Okay. Yes.
Is that right? You witnessed
She's
that?
getting ready to leave. Yes.
Okay.
Got her bag. She's getting ready to leave.
Okay. And so that would have been obvious to everybody since she has bags that she's leaving, right?
Yes.
And so you guys are you and the other women are following her around with your phones and your cameras, and you're kind of agitating her, provoking her, right?
Men and women. Yes. Everyone was.
Okay. Telling her that, you know, if you leave us, that you're going back to the regular world, basically, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so, but she says, I'm leaving anyway, right?
Yeah, she wasn't really saying anything, but she was just kind of keeping her head down and trying to get out of there. But
okay. Yes. All right. And so she is able to call an Uber and get all that set up, and the Uber is outside. And she's headed out to leave, right?
Yes, she was able to get an Uber through all that. Yeah.
Okay. While all this was going on and she's packing the bags and waiting on Uber, was anybody hitting her or hurting her during that time frame that you saw?
Not hitting her, but yes, being verbally hurtful. Yes.
People were saying mean things to her.
A lot of things.
Okay, but she was being bold and strong. She's leaving anyway.
She wasn't being bold and strong, but she was leaving. Yes.
Okay, she seemed fearful.
I think she was very in fear.
Okay.
Very much in fear.
Okay, and so she's fearful. She's hearing people say some mean things. Did you hear Mr. Bishop say mean things to her?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody was.
Yes.
They were kind of discouraging her from leaving, right?
Yes.
This was, we want you to stay, but we're not going to say nice things to make you stay. We're going to say mean things to make you stay because.
Yes, because we want you to know that leaving is going to be a mistake.
Right.
Yes.
And so it was to discourage her from leaving.
Yes.
Okay. Were there any physical threats made to her though? Like we'll bleep you up or kick you?
Yes. Yeah. Like, if you leave and come back, once you come back, you know what's going to happen.
Okay.
If you try to come back, you're gonna get beat up.
So there really wasn't a reason if you left and you were fortunate enough to leave if you came back because you get beat up if you came back, right?
Can you repeat your question?
Yes, ma'am. There wasn't if you left and came back, there was a threat if you came back, so it really wasn't a reason to come back, right? If you needed
a reason to come back.
There was a reason to come back.
Absolutely.
Okay.
A lot of people left and came back, and the reason to come back is that.
Just to give y'all an update, I just wrote Tess Darasaw an email just to see if we can get access to the live stream. Yeah, so there you have it, y'all.
You would think that the only way to really save your soul is to be in this man's life, is to confess that he's your Lord and Savior and your Messiah.
Okay.
Because at the end of your life, if you made the wrong decision to be out here in the world amongst people who don't know that and don't realize that, you would end up being condemned to hell.
So you being in hell or Babylon, as has been described, if you were not involved in his life.
Yes.
Okay. So people would come back and they would risk coming back and the physical harm just because of that draw.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so people would leave and come back during that time frame. A lot.
People would leave. People left and came back a lot.
Okay. Men and women.
I'm sorry.
Men and women.
Yes, men and women.
Okay. All right. So she's leaving. She's packed up. Has she ever left before that you've seen in that time frame?
Not during this time frame, but before, yeah.
Okay. So since you had been around her, she had left and come back.
Yes, I believe one other time.
Okay. All right. So she's leaving. But she makes it outside after all that she's gone through. She makes it outside to the Uber, but then she turns around and comes back inside.
Yes.
Okay. And so she goes up to the second floor of the house where Mr. Bishop is waiting up there.
Yes.
Okay. Does he take her in his room or into another room?
To another room.
Okay. Is it the room for the girls or whose room is that?
Yeah, it's a room for the girls. Or just, it was originally, he made it up to be his kids' room. Mm-hmm. So it was bunk beds in there.
Okay.
But, you know.
Were there kids there?
Yes, my son was there.
Okay. How old was your son then?
My son at the time, he was almost 3 years old. He was 2.
Okay. And who was the father of your son?
Aaron.
Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. True, the person named True or Ace. That's correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That was your boyfriend at the time?
He's my husband at the time.
He's your husband at the time?
Yes, we got married in 2020.
In 2020. Are you guys still married?
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right. Now, you had a kid there with True or Ace. And so, Mr. Bishop, you see him, you told the state that he led her in the room. Did you see him physically push her in the room or do anything to touch her to make her go into the room against her will?
I can't remember exactly. So I'm not going to say that, because I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. So you can't say if he forced her to go in the room or not?
I can't say it.
Okay. You didn't hear him hit her or anything like that to make her go in the room?
No.
You didn't hear any physical struggle, or let me rephrase that, witness a physical struggle between them as they went into the room, did you?
No.
Okay. And so when they go in the room, is the door closed?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if he went into the room first or if she went into the room first?
I don't know.
All right. You really were not paying attention, maybe?
No, I remember seeing them in the hallway going to the third bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember her like still being having that like upset look on her face. And I remember him walking towards there with her, but I can't remember exactly like if he was touching her or not. Like it was almost 2 years ago. I just can't remember exactly.
Were you on the second floor when they were up there?
No, I was on the first floor looking up.
Okay. And so once they go inside, do you hear anything else, any screaming or physical roughness upstairs? Any noises you can hear?
No.
Anything that would lead you to believe someone's fighting or anything upstairs?
No.
Any yelling or anything that would lead people arguing upstairs at all?
I didn't hear that.
Okay. And so after that, then do you guys continue a party? Do you go to sleep? Do you clean up? What do you do after you see her go in there?
So I was with the other women. We were in his bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we were on the phone with someone. We were just talking and stuff like that. And then I remember shortly after, like just being in the room for a while, and then Eligio walking in the bedroom, and then after him, she came in wearing a different dress. Her hair was wet, like she had taken a shower.
Mm-hmm.
And she just sat on the floor with her head down. I remember that.
So she came in the bedroom that the rest of the girls were in, which was Mr. Bishop's bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. And you said she was wearing a different dress or a different shirt?
A different dress. Like whatever she had on when she was leaving,
mm-hmm.
she changed. She was wearing one of like our communal dresses, like the dresses. Because all the women share clothes.
Okay.
So she was wearing one of the dresses.
Was dresses a normal thing, or was it pants and shirts, or just
for women?
Mm-hmm.
Dresses were normal.
Dresses what women would normally wear. Okay. So it's your opinion that she had a dress on when she was leaving, and when she came back, she had on, she went in the room with one dress on, came back out with a different dress.
She was wearing street clothes when she was going to be leaving. So she had on pants and a top, she had on pants.
Okay.
But when she came into the bedroom after, she had on a dress.
Okay. And you said her hair was wet as if she had taken a shower or something?
Yes.
Okay. Was that right after Mr. Bishop came in or at the same time? Did they come in together?
It wasn't right after. It was like minutes after, but I wouldn't be able to tell you how long. But it wasn't like he walked in, she walked in after him.
Okay. Did they communicate when they were in the room?
No. I think no.
Okay. Did she communicate with you guys at all?
I went up to her.
Okay.
And I wanted her to look me in my eyes,
mm-hmm.
and I think I might have touched her face or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, you know better.
Okay.
Oh wow.
All right. And you know better
than
what?
Know better.
To me, it meant that she knows better than to go against Mr. Bishop. She knows better than to disrespect or go against him in any way.
Okay.
She knows better than to say that she wants to leave, because we don't do that. We stay here and we deal with whatever we have to deal with.
Okay.
And I just wanted her to know that, you know, I was right. Basically, like we were right and she was wrong.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, but you were saying it kind of in a sister type of way that, hey, that was a bad idea you just had.
I don't think it was a sister type of way. I just think that it was a way to keep the control of what we had there. Just to constantly reiterate that this was our purpose. What we're doing here is what we're supposed to be doing. You going out there is going against that.
Okay. Did she say anything back to you?
She just I don't know, maybe she shook her head, but she just like continued to look down.
Okay.
And just like she looked like she was about to start crying.
Did she have her phone with her?
In that moment, I don't remember.
Okay. All right. And so do you guys go to bed after that?
Yes, like later on we went to bed. Me, her, and Zoka slept in the third bedroom. And when I woke up in the morning, she was gone.
Okay. All right. And when you woke up in the morning, it was, I'm assuming, past 9 o'clock, kind of a late sleep. Is that typical for you guys to sleep that late?
I don't remember what time it was. And it wasn't really typical for us to sleep in late all the time. Like, it just depended on what he wanted. If he wanted us to wake up at 3 a.m., we had to wake up at 3 a.m.
Okay. Okay. All right.
It was light outside when I woke up.
Okay. All right. So when you woke up, you didn't see her. Did you speak to her again after that day or later that day at all?
No.
Okay. Okay. Did afterwards, I think the state asked you, you would agree that you left in April 2022, but do you agree that even in March and early April 2022, you were making videos that were in support of Mr. Bishop?
You saying from March to April, was I making videos that were in support of him?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
I was.
Videos that still, obviously you don't feel that way today, but in that time frame afterwards, you still felt in support of him and whatever teachings that he had. Is that fair to say? Is it after April 2022 that group kind of disbanded, you left and went back to your mom's house?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, after April. So in April of 2020, let me try this again. April 2022, you produced some videos where you were at a table with some other women discussing Mr. Bishop. Do you agree with that?
Oh, you're saying, that the live that we did on Vivo, when it was like the women sitting at his desk and we were talking on the camera?
I don't know exactly where you guys were sitting, but it was a bunch of women at a table or something.
Yeah, we were at that table, that long table, we were all dressed in black, and we were talking.
Yes, ma'am.
About him and how, yeah.
Okay.
I remember that video.
Okay. And you do agree you were in that video and you gave a long statement in support of Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
But you later changed your position?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And so ultimately you ended up leaving Atlanta and going back to your mom?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just a couple more questions. When you were in the group, were there days that things were friendly and not cloudy as they sound? I mean, were there times that you guys had good times?
Yeah, there were.
Were there times that were the videos that were produced, were there times that they were actually authentic, where people were
where people were happy?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't even know. Like, if it's like looking at it now from this perspective, I don't think anybody was really happy. I just think we wanted it to be what we wanted it to be. We really wanted it to be a good thing.
Okay.
We wanted it to be.
It was in existence. Is that? Take your time. It's fine.
Yeah, we just wanted it to be good. We wanted to make a difference.
Yes, ma'am. What community were you trying to reach when you wanted to make a difference?
We wanted to reach all of humanity, but we were specifically, we wanted to help Black people to see that they were more than, what it was at the time. Like it was a lot of things in the media about Black people just dying, and how our lives were insignificant. We were just wanting to change the narrative, like show that we could be something great and we can come out here, we can grow our own food, and we can live our own way of living, and we can go back to a way of living where we are kind to each other, where we are honest with each other, we have compassion for the earth and each other and all things, and we can see ourselves in each other and other things. But it just turned into something very much not that way. At all.
So the target population was African American people.
Yes.
And it was to try to turn them into a better state of mind.
Yes.
Okay. And that was the image that was portrayed, but it really wasn't that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the image.
Were the videos, was that the basis of the videos that were originally posted, was trying to get African American people to think smarter?
Yeah, trying to get them to think of themselves. Yeah, like trying to get them to realize that who they've come to be may be something of a fabrication. It may be something that they've learned to be or been programmed to be, but it's not who they really are, authentically.
Okay. And so it's kind of a turn back to nature.
Yes, go back to nature, go back to your natural self, your authentic self. You're not just a number,
right.
You're something more.
And so is that why some of the videos were about teaching them?
Yeah.
And trying to encourage them?
Yes.
But it also was relationship advice as well that was contrary to what was actually happening. Is that what you're saying?
It was a lot of things that was contrary. It was a lot of things. It was relationship advice. It was discipline became something that was abusive. It wasn't, it just wasn't what it didn't all align with the teachings.
Let the girl get off the stand,
Were the
child.
teachings based on the Bible, or were they kind of where did the teachings come from?
Well, Mr. Bishop thought that he was a messenger of God. So a lot of things just came from him and what he believed or what he felt like he experienced.
Okay.
He would tell us a lot about his visions or his, enlightenment and things that he felt. This is what the world is because I had this vision. Okay. This is what it is. But also using the Bible to kind of back up what he felt. Okay. And then also using like biology.
Yeah, David, but I guess this is more about what she believed they were trying to do. What it was is a whole nother thing, bro.
It's just to back up what he felt.
Okay. And that's the same thing that he would be saying in his videos as well. Tell the people, not just to you guys.
Yeah, some of the same things he would say in the videos. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Redirect.
So Kendra, you talked about like the way that sort of the origin story or primary like original mission of the group, and do I understand you correctly that it lost its way somewhere along the line?
Yeah, definitely. Like sitting here today, I don't know if it was ever what I thought it was or what we thought it was.
And what was the cause of that losing its way or not being what it was sold as?
It was Eligio. It was just his power and control. He wanted control over everything and everyone involved.
And like, as time went on, and especially the second time y'all were in Atlanta in 2021, Like, was he posting videos of like people having sex online?
Yes, a lot of videos.
And like, was that connected in any way to this origin story?
I don't know how it could be. I don't understand how posting sex videos online is a part of the teaching of having divine knowledge of self. You know, I mean, we did believe in like liberation, you know, but posting sex videos, I don't see how that is liberating for anyone. I mean, I guess some people may feel that way, but sitting here today, like, I don't believe that that's liberating for anyone.
I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. May she be excused?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, y'all doing okay? We need to stretch, restroom break, anything? No? Okay. Sorry, Diana? You, okay. All right.
Actually, if we can approach on
Sure.
timing real fast.
Sure.
OMG. Okay. So I think her testimony was even stronger than the victim. I feel like her testimony.
Yes. I don't know. I guess I didn't know. I was confused.
Okay, so let me help you. I'll guide you through this. It seems like this is bringing up some kind of trauma. When my clients usually get like this means that we found something that needs to be talked about. Okay? We just don't know. We just don't just not know, right? There's obviously something unspoken or something that needs to be talked about here that we're
All right, bear with me, y'all.
away.
I'm about to flip over to a new one and see if there's some updates. Give me 2 seconds. What did y'all think about the witness testimony of the sister here?
Det er lidt til styr.
Media pages.
So it's like, lock up all the real men or all the dominant males. Let's lock them all up. You know what? I still forgive her.
Bishop is charged with rape, false imprisonment, and 3 charges of prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions. He's pled not guilty, claiming she consented to participating in the sexual act and has never held anyone against their will.
I want to apologize if I offended anybody in any kind of way. I said it, the truth, in the wrong way. I stand by everything that I stand by.
Earlier today, the jury heard from ELIGIO Bishop in the form of a police interview that he gave after the charges against him that involve a former member of his cult Carbon Nation. But according to Bishop, who refers to himself as a god, the act was consensual and done for educational purposes.
I have a video showing how we did it. You know what I'm saying? Like when she's incomplete, she's like literally going through the spiritual journey. It's a spiritual video, like showing that the vagina, like it was really like an educational thing, right? And so I have the whole footage, like literally, like, and when she left, she was mad, and then she just flipped on me and said revenge porn. Because what happened was on my Twitter, when she left, I thought she wanted to leave. I was like, oh God. So when she left, it was still on Twitter. So she said, she didn't ask me, she didn't call me, say, can you take that down? Because we did that together, can you take that down? She didn't do that. She just said revenge porn. And I know it's my haters, you know, saying, you should get on this. They're literally doing everything they can to put me in jail.
Let's bring back in Wendy Patrick, who is standing by, prosecutor, trial attorney, and author. Wendy, this is a unique type of trial for us to cover here on Court TV. We do have other cases that involve people in alleged cults. We have a man here who had a lot of female followers, and his defense, you even see him nodding along with this statement that he made about people hating him, people coming against him just because they don't like what he's doing, and this is all for education. How do you go about educating a jury on a world that they are not familiar with when we hear the term cult?
Right. Julia, your skepticism is well-founded because we are very skeptical when we not only hear the term cult, but hear that any sexual activity was done for educational purposes. This is a world those jurors don't live in. And this is why expert witnesses make the big bucks, is they have to come in and try to explain. And by expert, let's put that word in quotes, because it can be anybody with experience in this kind of background. It can be somebody that's been in a cult or has studied it or teaches it at the local university, or as an expert witness testifying as to the interpersonal dynamics that overcome the will and the persuasion of cult members. And that appears to be part of the narrative here. But at the end of the day, those jurors go home to their own lives, and they do carry the burden of trying to make a decision in a world that they know nothing about, and where terms like the word cult are so loaded personally, professionally, politically, and not in a positive fashion.
That's very much true. We are going to be following the evidence as this jury continues to hear it and bring you updates.
All right. Let's see. It's going to be about an hour or two before any more updates come in. So I'm just going to leave the panel open for a second for folks that want to hop up as I do a little bit of searching, y'all.
The guy said that and the girls are claiming you are God.
I believe I'm God.
Okay.
I do. I believe that I'm God. I believe we're God. I believe everything is connected. I believe that you're God. I believe that the way I treat you is how I treat God. I believe you don't treat God, we don't praise an invisible God, we praise each other. The way I treat you is how I treat God. I don't put God in my mind. I put God as you. And I love you as I love God. And my relationship with you is my relationship with God. We're God. We're all one. We're one earth, one source. We're all breathing the same air on this one rock in the middle of nowhere. And flying into the dimensions of the abyss of darkness. We're all on this one rock together. And we gotta get along. This is what I'm teaching. We can't keep fighting. And black people don't want to hear it. They don't, but I got to break it through. I've been breaking, see that, all that happened right now, that's gonna be on the news. That's gonna put my name on the news. And like, this is what I do. So I'm looking at this like, oh, this is good. This is what I need. I need press to get people to listen to me. Because they keep taking it as a joke. I'm telling them mathematics of the universe. I'm saying, listen, we need to eat this food, we need to get this much sunlight, we need to get out of the hood, put the guns away. This is what we need to do. Because we keep ending up going on horse. So we have to let them tool the lane. And this is my message to the people.
That is the defendant in his police interview. Who is this guy? What is this case? It's out of Georgia, and that is ELIGIO Bishop. Take a look. He is a leader of this group, Carbon Nation. Is it a religion? Is it a cult? I don't know. I guess the jury will answer that question at this trial. But he's accused of sexual assault and rape. So what exactly is going on in his world? What is going on in his relationship with these women who are around him? One of those women is an accuser and is an alleged victim and testified today. You will hear her testimony. You won't see her, and we won't say her name, but you can hear some of the allegations. And as you listen, as we listen, the question for this jury is going to be, was she coerced? Was she forced? Was she trapped? Was she sexually assaulted? Let's listen.
Way before you come to carbonation, there's rules. So like, the rule is you have to get rid of all your stuff. You have to change your name. Those are non-negotiable. When you get there, you have to put all of your financial belongings into what we would call a pot, where we would pull resources from the group, and we would use these resources to feed ourselves, travel, etc. If you didn't give your documentation, you were like verbally abused in amongst the circle. Like they would make, like have a meeting. We would call them meetings, kind of like what was going on right now, except if you were the victim, we would be like, why aren't you putting your money? Are you for it? Are you, and then it would be like verbal abuse. And so that was a rule. Another rule was that we couldn't use the bathroom. We had to use the bathroom a certain way. At one point in time, and because things progressed, it didn't keep happening, but it actually was a rule for us not to wear shirts. Like women couldn't wear shirts at one point in time. So we started putting leaves on our nipples, going live. And other things that I wouldn't consider quote unquote rules, but were non-negotiable things in the group was that every woman had to have sex with Nature Boy or have some type of sexual fantasy with him. And a lot of times when that would happen, it would be forced and non-consensual because it was not negotiable for anybody there. When I chose to be polygamous, we instantly was like monogamous. So when we were monogamous, he was doing the whole love bombing thing. Like, I really love you. I really want to be with you. You make me so happy. I really see you as the only woman in my life. I want you to have my children. Everything a woman want to hear. So eventually, I got pregnant, and when I got pregnant, that's when the abuse started, and he really started getting abusive with me. And then later down the line, he had admitted to me that he couldn't wait to get me pregnant, and his goal was to get me pregnant so that he can do whatever he wants, so that I wouldn't leave him. So me getting pregnant was his way of trapping me.
All right, let's bring in our think tank on this. So Darnell, I'm listening to this testimony. This is one of the accusers. The way she described the coercion, that it was non-consensual, is that it was non-negotiable. As a member of this, if we want to call it a cult, we want to call it a congregation, whatever you want to call it, to be a member, it's non-negotiable. You need to have some form of sexual contact with this ELIGIO Bishop nature boy in this Carbon Nation. Your thoughts, Darnell, is this sexual assault? Is this non-consensual?
I just can't take this case seriously. It's like, is this the R. Kelly trial all over again? Is this Atlanta Housewives? Maybe the show?
Wait, R. Kelly got convicted, right?
Yeah. So
okay, so that was a crime. Yeah. So
I just can't. I mean, but there was underage kids. That was really the
right. These are adults.
Here,
these are adults. I haven't heard an allegation yet about someone being underage.
Exactly. So these are adults, and she's saying it's non-negotiable. Most relationships aren't really negotiable. It's normally the woman who's holding you hostage. But she could have left if she wanted to. I haven't heard anything extraordinary here, except the fact that she thought, she's going to have a kid, she's going to be in love, she's going to be monogamous. It's like any other relationship. It didn't work, and she said a lot of times the sex wasn't voluntary. But this is going to be hard for a jury to wrap their heads around. They're going to be saying, is she crazy? Is he crazy? This is not a David Koresh type situation. It's just. It's everything from the original Koresh is the knockoffs. This is the knockoffs. And it's going to be a hard thing for the jury to find that she was coerced here. She could have left.
Jennifer Brandt, was this consensual, non-consensual? What are your thoughts about trying to figure out what was going on here in this Carbon Nation?
Well, first, Vinny, I have to say I'm worried about Darnell and his relationships, because if he thinks they're all non-negotiable, that's a problem right there. But regardless, as to this case, I mean, if it's rape, it's rape. If it's not, if she doesn't agree, and he's forcing himself upon her, I would call that rape, whether she's a young woman or older woman.
Well, let me ask you.
It didn't sound like it was consensual.
Right. Well, she's saying non-negotiable. So if the negotiation is in the morning, you have to engage in sex with me or you're out of the group. Is that if that's to the extent of the that may not be. So it's got to be something more.
If he's forcing himself upon her, that is, you know what I mean? So it's a question of what was he actually doing? It does sound like a cult. I mean, these people were giving up all their money. They were giving up all their freedom to sort of go along with this group. And could they have left? I don't know. That's a question. I mean, once he has all their finances and, they're sort of stuck there. I don't know how easily it would have been for them to leave. But certainly if he's forcing himself on them, I think that's rape. So we'll have to see what unfolds.
Al, where do you see the line here between consent and non-consensual?
Sorry, but I was just writing this down to myself. Note to self, gotta get me a cult. All right, so taking a look at this situation, okay. Well, first of all, there's only one true nature boy, and that's Ric Flair. That's the first thing. Carbon Nation is a stupid name for a cult. That's the second thing. And if you're taking a look at it from the standpoint of what happened here, I mean, it does sound more sour grapes than it sounds like a I mean, in certain respects, Darnell is correct that it's a little ridiculous that they're going forward to this level. I mean, people don't like cults. People don't like to have these kind of situations. And this guy is such a freak show that he's going to get up there and just, if they play the tapes from, what he said to the police department, that I'm God, you're God, we're God, around we see God, God's here, God's there. I mean, this is the kind of freak that a jury is just going to have a real fun time just convicting, just based on that. And a guy like this will take the stand because there's no way he thinks he can convert anyone and everyone.
This is his moment. Darnell, did you hear the headline out of there? I wrote it down. Darnell is correct. Al said that.
I did like it. And the only way for Al to get a date is to get a cult.
Oh,
I am getting a call. I am going to get called, but I'm going to be known as Sensation Al.
There you go.
That'll be my name, and then I'm going to be the Humpty Hump Nation. That'll be the name of my cult.
I lost control. I'm sorry.
All right, here you go. It's actually an update. I'm going to bring it up now on the screen here for folks. Let's see here. Here it is. Boom. All right, so give me 2 seconds and we're going to go over this real quick. All right, so let me read this real quick for everybody. It says DeKalb County, day 4 of the rape trial involving alleged cult leader Eligio Bishop took an unexpected turn at the DeKalb County Courthouse when it was announced that someone associated with the case has tested positive for COVID. Despite the diagnosis, Judge Stacey Hendricks declared that the trial would continue later after a week and a brief pause. The news prompted concern for Bishop, who expressed worries about the risk of getting sick. Bishop told the judge that he did not want to proceed with the trial. You hear that? So Bishop told the judge he did not want to proceed with the trial. Judge Heydrich, assured Bishop that everyone involved in the trial agreed to move forward. That's when Bishop raised additional concerns, saying he felt he wasn't being represented well and feels like he was being railroaded. In response, Judge Heydrich informed Bishop that he does not have to be presented in the courtroom for the trial, but the proceedings will continue with or without him. Bishop continued to complain, saying he wanted to fire his attorney, Robert Booker. The trial has been recessed until Thursday. The prosecution rested its case on Monday after playing his interview with police for the jury. Bishop's full 45-minute interview with the police was played for the jury. Yeah, what do y'all think about that? Well, it turns out it's been postponed, y'all. All right, let's go over to see what this poll says here up on the screen. 2 seconds, y'all. Let me see here. All right, can y'all see this? Let me see something here. Can y'all see this? Let me see. 2 seconds. Let me just make it bigger. Mhm. see something. Yeah, you see the results here? All right, let me read them. 14% says 1 to 5 years. 22% say 5 to 15 years. 12% say 15 to 30 years. And 52% say 30 to 60 years. It was 80 respondents in all to the poll. So there you have it. What's up, Divinely Inspired? Let me drop the link real quick. Yeah, so it's going to be postponed. And as you heard, Bishop, he protested to the trial continue. And let me go back and read that again for y'all. Michelle says a half a loaf is better than none. Keep Booker, but help him. Yeah, Nature Boy. Talk about the Yanis past cult life. Okay, and he can do pro se. He can do pro se, but use the lawyer available to you and trust God for. Okay, well, we're going to see. Let me see here. Let me read this back. What the delay is about in the court hearing. Can y'all see this? How many days is that until Thursday? Okay, so that's like 2 days recess. Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna read this back for everybody. This is the latest update for the Bishop Eligio Bishop trial. There's some new testimony still coming out that leads up to this point, but the short end of it is it's been postponed because of COVID. All right, here we go, y'all. DeKalb County, day 4 of the rape trial involving alleged cult leader Eligio Bishop took an unexpected turn at the DeKalb County Courthouse when it was announced that someone associated with the case has tested positive for COVID. Despite the diagnosis, Judge Stacey Heydrich declared that the trial would continue later in the week after a brief pause. The news prompted concern from Bishop, who expressed worries about the risk of getting sick. Bishop told the judge that he did not want to proceed with the trial. Judge Heydrich assured Bishop that everyone involved in the trial had agreed to move forward. Okay, y'all hear that? Everyone involved in the trial had agreed to move forward. I guess that is with him being the exception, maybe, but let's see. Heydrich assured Bishop that everyone involved in the trial had agreed to move forward. That's when Bishop raised additional concerns, saying he felt he wasn't being represented well and feels like he is being railroaded. He feels like he's being railroaded. In response, Judge Heydrich informed Bishop that he does not have to be present in the courtroom for the trial, but the proceedings will continue with or without him. Bishop continued to complain, saying he wanted to fire his attorney, Robert Booker. Jack, it's people that were saying Booker was doing a good job. You know, it's difficult. This is a case that is hard to do. That's hard to do, you know, for a defense attorney, I think. But, you know, that's just my opinion. The trial has been recessed until Thursday. The prosecution rested its case on Monday after playing his interview with the police for the jury. Okay, so the prosecution rested their case on Monday. And this is all defense. Okay. And I guess there's counter questions maybe by the prosecution. Okay. But in any case, Bishop's full 45-minute interview with the police was played. Yeah, we just heard that for the jury. He denied the rape and posting revenge porn, saying he has proof he did not do anything wrong. Yeah, so that's the short of it, or that's it. That's what they're reporting. That's from Fox 5. You know, that's not even a real. Fox is, you know, can be. People got their different ideas about how legitimate Fox is, but that's what's been said. Hey, Andrea, how you doing? You here and divinely inspired. Sorry about that. And Michelle, thanks for the info about the court, getting access to the court footage. I appreciate that a lot. Let me see. What did she say? For me, when someone is negotiating, you take what they offer and make it work. A lawyer is a mouthpiece and takes and absorbs the hits. Hopefully, lawyer knows his rights. The lawyer knows his right. Yeah, indeed. You know, and it's a difficult case. I mean, it's a difficult case to prosecute to some degree. It depends on what the jury looks like and what the public ultimately, you know, is standing with these types of cases. But it's still difficult because you can see they have to prove some specific things. And there's a lot of people, you know, as you said, and others have said, people have gone back. You know, the public has raised some issues about that, you know, and how many people are involved, who's victims and who are perpetrators in this, if anybody is, you know, just these things. But he has been charged. He is in a trial, and this is where the trial is at right now. Now, for a defense attorney, I even think it's hard to defend, you know, because there's a lot of witnesses against him. And let's be honest. We heard Bishop's recording with the police, but is he going to take the trial? Take the stand himself in his own defense. For me, my view on cases like this is simple. Well, also watching a little bit of it, if the person accused doesn't take the stand, I think that's not a good. Well, I think it's difficult for him to be found innocent if you don't take the stand. OJ was found innocent. He didn't take the stand, but his attorney, was top, and they did find things that were, come on, one of the lead police on the case, investigators, was found to be a racist, pretty much. So that kind of threw that out. The glove also didn't fit, if you want to say that too, But let me see here. Jackie Terrell. I'm new to your channel and I'm really enjoying it. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that, Jackie. Yeah, we try to give everybody a little room to express themselves, and and that way we get some different views on it and people can kind of talk it out. Nobody has to fight it out, because I'm not on trial. You're not on trial. None of us are on trial, so we don't have a reason to be, to get out of pocket with each other. And, hopefully we do it the right way so we can all come back and have other conversations, too, as well. Andrea says, well, he said he's God and everyone else is God. How is that possible? His version of God sure does believe or behave badly. Excuse me. Yeah. I mean, his version of God would tell somebody to go and smack you. You know what I'm saying? He said on one hand, he treats people as if that's his relationship with God. You're God. I'm God. Everybody's God. I treat you like you're God. We're God. I'm, something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing. And then, and then they play a tape where, or people are testifying to him telling people to smack somebody, It's a difficult one. Let's see here. Well, oh yeah, you're welcome. The assistant called back and said the courts don't give access, but suggested to contact Fox 5, Atlanta. Others are doing it. Okay. That's noted. She said request tape access from the mainstream news agencies. You know what? That's a great suggestion. Thank you for that. I'm gonna take note of that and write that down for sure. Andrea reminds me of the biblical God. I mean, yeah, So ultimately, let me see. Let me go back to this poll here for everybody to see. We took a little poll in the chat. Let's see, and it's obviously postponed. There's probably going to be some more updates coming out regarding this. Just some testimony, I'm sure of it. But let's see here. Just for the record, I want to read the poll. I want to thank everybody for coming through and playing a part today. All right, so we got 86 votes. 13% of the people in the chat think that he will get, or that are watching. Yeah. Oh, nah, you in the chat. That's 86 people in the chat. Daggone. Okay. Well, in any case, 86 people participated in the poll. 13% believe Bishop is going to get 1 to 5 years. So that means, yeah, okay. What do y'all think about that? 22% think he's going to get 5 to 15. That's 5 to 15 is a interesting number. 13% think he's going to get 15 to 30 years. So 15 to 30 years. And then 52% think he's going to get 30 to 60 years. 30 is definitely, probably, and 30 to 60 is about the maximum you could get. That's if all things go bad. All things go bad, you're getting 30 to 60 for sure, in this type of case. And down south, or in any place right now, and a lot of places, they're looking to punish persons charged with this type of crime. But we've seen cases like, look, this case in Florida, there was a plea taken. That was the Polite case. He took a plea. He got 7 to life I think he did something where it's like he committed himself to life. Something. What's the term? Yo, somebody help me out. It's something about his plea, which means he can be, if they do not find him to have gone through his gone through this program, sexual deviant program. I'm paraphrasing. Then he can be held up to 60 years, but the low side is 7 years if he passes that program that they're going to be instructing him to play a part in. But he can be in there for longer than 7 years. But that was the plea. Bishop didn't take a plea. Now let me ask y'all, what do you think about that? Just on the legal side, do you think, regardless of what you think about Eligio Bishop, do you think it was wise for him to not take a plea? And what was his plea? I think his plea was like, some people said it was 7 years. Some people said it was 30 years. What was his plea actually? Let me try to look that up. 2 seconds. Let me get out of this one real quick. And then I'm gonna close out after this. Let me see. Yeah, for those of y'all that's just joining, the trial has been postponed due to someone being tested positive for COVID. And let me put this in the chat too before I go look for the plea deal real quick. Yeah, Polite can be remanded to a facility after 7 years. Exactly. Now let me put this in here. Fox News update on Eligio Bishop. Let me see here. Boom. Yeah, y'all can spread the news on that. It's been a postponement for 2 days. It's going to proceed on Thursday. Yeah, and so there was a little protest going on with that regarding Eligio, obviously, but y'all can read for yourselves. Let me see here. That's what the God of the Bible does. He tells a certain group of people to administer his wrath upon the other groups of people. Is that the God he is referring to? I mean, yeah. I what I take away from the Bible is the golden rule: treat other people how you want to be treated. Is that in the it's called the golden rule. I know it's part of the Bible. That's the part I follow. That golden rule exists in a lot of different faiths, so I just roll with that one. Some of these things about it, to me, if it's not how you would want to be treated, you shouldn't do it to somebody else. It's very simple, and I don't need to read anything else outside of that. When it comes to these things, I try to keep it that way, regardless of who I'm dealing with. That's how I try to deal with things. Treat other people how you want to be treated. That's helped me stay out of a lot of trouble in life. Let me see here. I think he was banking on they would leave and keep coming back to him. Definitely. It seems like he wasn't. Well, he definitely wasn't banking on this. That's for sure. He was not banking on, or maybe he was. I mean, I guess ultimately you got to ask him what he was banking on. But my thoughts are, you would not bank on this. If you banked on this, you wouldn't do it. That's my thoughts. If you're banking on being in jail for 30 to 60 years, or even 5 years, or any time for a grape allegation, or anything connected to that, I would think a person wouldn't do whatever it is. I mean, that's not a good thing. But also, I wouldn't want to experience being imprisoned at all, period. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And I'm not one that thinks the American justice system is the fairest. Is that fair all the time at all? I believe there's some people that are locked up for things they didn't do, but I also believe there's plenty of people locked up for things they did do. And but you got to deal with those facts when you live your life, when you take actions, how you move and do things. You need to associate that fact along with it, that you want to stay as far away from the court system, from the police also as possible in terms of how you move, because it can be argued what type of justice people get. Now that goes both ways. It's not just for the perpetrator, but also the victims. I mean, is there always justice for victims? I mean, if a married woman has an abusive husband and she leaves and then keeps coming back to him, is that the husband's fault or is it hers? It's a good question, Jackie. It's a good question. Well, if the husband keeps committing that act, each time he commits that act of abuse, he should be charged with it. And if she goes back, it's still a crime for him to abuse her, right? And this question is a good question, because this is a question you can ask for any type of situation. Whose fault is it? And what is the intent? But at some point, fault doesn't necessarily matter when it comes to crimes being committed. Think about this. You didn't mean to park illegally, but you get that ticket. You didn't mean to, turn into, left when you're only supposed to turn right on this street, but you did it. You got a ticket. You didn't mean to get in a car crash, but you're going to pay for the damage caused. So there's also that aspect to take into account too. But I hear you. It's a good question. I mean, and keep in mind, you might want to take care of yourself and not put yourself in situations too. You have to know when to say no to abuse. And I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about men too. Shit, I've even had a woman try to verbally abuse me or mentally abuse me to some degree on the internet. You see what I'm saying? And I had to just lock the door to them, block, because I ain't taking it. For me, my thing is one time. That's what I tell people. With me, you got one time for abuse, one time to violate. That's what I tell people all the time, because why would a person want to go back for more? It don't make no sense, and I would never advise anybody to go back for more. Nature Boy wants to be famous. What's up, Ann? Okay, let me see. Nature Boy wants to be famous. That is why he didn't take the plea deal. In his mind, he is innocent and wants to get it and wants to get attention from news to be more famous. I mean, hey, that's a hell of a route to go for fame, a hell of a route, in my opinion. I hear you. We all speaking our opinions here, that's exactly what it is. And, and we're going to find out. But I agree with that to some degree. Like, that's getting into his psychological state, and it's an opinion. But if you agree that he's not psychologically stable or that he has psychological issues, then this sounds like is plausible. I mean, some cult leaders do want it like that, Alleged cult leaders. One thing is for sure: God is not on trial. Our actions have consequences. God or no God, devil or no devil. Exactly. This is the police. This is the justice system. This is the prosecutor. These are his associates alleging this about him in a court. So you could see, according to him, maybe it's God doing this, or according to him, maybe it's the devil, or according to other people. But for me, it's the court system. It's the police. It's his associates that, So in other words, he played a role in he's played a role in this, and surrounding himself with people that would send his ass to prison for this, whether he did it or not, he got to accept some. Yeah. And I don't even know if that's accepting responsibility, because look, if you did this, just admit you did it, man, and get some help. Help the people heal that you did this to, if you did this. But also to yourself, man. Don't lie to yourself. If you did this, get the help that you need, man, and repent, really, because this is like abusing people. If you did this, which you see, matter of fact, before we go out, let's go back to just seeing who we talking about here. Let's see here. Just to remind people, I think he said something like this. He said something to the effect of, I have sex in front of my kids. Isn't that what he said? He said something to that effect. What? Hold on, I never even seen this. Somebody told me about this. Well, look, let me play this one real quick, and then I'm gonna play the next one.
What's going on?
Let me see. Let's get straight to it. This is ridiculous. This is his brother, My Life in the Chi. I'm just gonna play this. We've seen this a lot, but since it's here, let's play the clip.
I never knew he was naked. I take baths with my kids. I'm naked with my kids. I have sex in front of my kids. I'll never be ashamed of sex. My son be breastfeeding, I'll be making love to his mom. That's me, bro. That's how I get down around kids. I try to keep their purity. I don't want to take their purity away by covering myself up. They're going to be ashamed to cover themselves up. And I'm pure at heart. So you can think in your mind, if I let another kid here, I'm going to have to change the way I am so that your kid can be comfortable around me. No, I'm going to be naked as fuck in front of your kids. My son comes up and grabs my penis. I let him grab my penis. I had sex with his mom. I'm making love to his mother. After I'm done, I'm laying there chilling. He grabbed my penis. He's playing with my penis.
Oh my God, man.
I let that happen.
There it is. He let that happen. That's what he's saying. You saying his own words. This one I never seen.
You know why I don't let kids around me, other people kids around me? Because the way I am. See me, I like to be.
Actually, this is the same one. Okay, but they're saying he admit to pedophilic acts here. I didn't hear that, but I heard something. I mean, saying you gonna let your son touch your pee-pee right after you had sex. You know what? I mean, let's listen to this.
Naked. Let me tell you a little son about Nature Boy. See me, I'm a real human. See my kids, when I see my son, this is how I treat my son. We naked together. My son started being ashamed of his body. And I seen it happen. I didn't want that to happen. They made him ashamed of his body. They showed him that he was naked. I did not want him to know he was naked.
Thank you, Jack.
Son, look here. I didn't even want him to be in a world where he knew he was naked. I wanted my son to be so pure that he never knew he was naked. I take baths with my kids. I'm naked with my kids. I have sex in front of my kids. I'll never be ashamed of sex. My son be breastfeeding and I'll be making love to his mom. That's me, bro. That's how I get down around kids. I try to keep their purity. I don't want to take their purity away by covering myself up. They're going to be ashamed and cover themselves up. And I'm pure at heart. So you can think in your mind, if I let another kid here, I'm going to have to change the way I am so that your kid can be comfortable around me. No, I'm going to be naked as fuck in front of your kids. My son comes up and grabs my penis. I let him grab my penis. I had sex with his mom. I'm making love to his mother. After I'm done, I'm laying there chilling. He grabbed my penis. And he's playing with my penis. I let that happen. I say, yeah, look, you got one too. And he laughing. And the moment is over. It's pure. And if I do that with somebody else's kids, and you see how people turned on me over here? You see how people turn on me? Bro, I'm real human, bro. Yeah, that's real. That's how I'm with my son. My son try to be, oh, daddy, don't cover up nothing, son. We naked in front of each other. We not naked. This our clothes. What the fuck is you talking about? My son play with my pee. He like, I say, yeah, you got one too. They kids, they want to know. I don't want to hide shit from them. I make love right in front of them. I make love to their mama right in front of them. Like a real man. That's how I get down, homie.
That's just me.
If you do that in front of your kids, are you involving your kids in this? That's the question. That is the question. And I would have to say yes. That's my opinion. Don't do that in front of your kids. Do not give access to your sexual acts. Don't give access to your kids to that. Keep those private. That's different. What he's describing, in my opinion, is very different than what is what is normal. Now your kids, you are going to see your kids. If you raise your kids at all, you have to wash them. You have to help them get ready. You have to teach them how to wash themselves. You have to teach them how to groom themselves, clean themselves. So sometimes you're going to see your kid naked. Sometimes your kid's going to see their mom's naked. Sometimes they're going to see their fathers naked if they live together. But that's not having sex in front of them. Get out of here. That's crazy. That's way different. That's something else, man. It's the same thing with any other act that you do. Do you let your kids see any other act that you do with somebody else that doesn't involve them? I don't get it, man. I don't get what he's trying to say here, but let me just let it. That's my opinion, but I'm gonna let it play.
And if I did that around other people's kids, they would put me under the fucking jail. You can't be a real human. That's why I don't let nobody kids here but mine, homie. Because I ain't about to alter my life for no one. I walk around naked. That's how I am, bro. I don't want kids to be ashamed of what we do. We shouldn't be ashamed to make love. Sex shouldn't be something that we're ashamed of. It's a part of life. I was basically talking about, me being a man and why I don't have kids here, man. Because I embrace my kids. And if your kids come here, I'm going to treat them like my kids. And y'all seen, I'm going to let the room be it. Y'all seen what people did to me. People came to me in my life. I've attracted some fuck people to me, man. They done came in here, said that they love me, and turned their back on me. There's people like me that get fucked over. So I'd rather it just be my kids here than having other people's kids here, because that leaves an avenue for people, an easy avenue for someone to say I touched their daughter or I touched their son or some fuck shit and get me fucked up, because I'm not changing the way I am because your kids come around. I think I am a child. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm pure in my mind and children are pure. I like to embrace the kids. Like, come here, I like to fuck with their psyche. I like to, when I'm a proud father. I'm a proud father. You understand? So I would never let people set me up in that kind of way. I would never let them get me in that kind of way.
Well, Beverly, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, there you go. How you doing, sis? You good?
I'm
Welcome
good.
back.
I'm good.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I can hear you. It was me. I was muted.
So did you hear the update?
I didn't say echoing. He crazy.
Oh yes. There's something. I mean,
I've heard that before. I've heard all of those before. Because a friend of mine was following him. He told me. It's
okay.
echoing.
You heard that before. Okay. I mean, yeah, I heard it too. I heard it. I forgot this was the one, because they titled these videos differently, But he said this. This is his own testimony. Did you hear about the case being postponed until Thursday due to COVID? Bev, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that?
No, I just got back in here because, yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Let me see. Andrea just made a comment. This so-called God sure didn't have the power to keep the law of his off his ass. Yeah, exactly. He talked a big game until, something's not working in his favor. That's for sure. And no, if he has any power, you would think he have the power to not be in this situation ultimately. But
I don't know. Excuse me.
go
I
ahead.
don't know if you noticed, but I don't know if you noticed, but I don't know if you noticed, but you're repeating everything. I got a message because I scheduled a live and they said there's something with YouTube.
Nah,
And
that's you, Beverly. That's something up
that's
with your
me.
audio. Yeah, I think so.
That's well, it's YouTube because they sent me a message.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Maybe it's something. How many of y'all can? How is the audio for everybody? Press 1 if the audio is good, just to make sure. Because on my side it sounds normal, but you know, I don't hear any echo. I don't hear you twice at all. So, yeah. But maybe you have your stream open at the same time you're in StreamYard. When you're in StreamYard, you need to go to your YouTube audio and put it on your YouTube
What you mean?
tab. Yeah, if you have the YouTube still open while you're on StreamYard, you need to put it on mute, the YouTube one, so it doesn't play back twice. I think that's what's happening. It's possible. Yeah. So that's what you
It's,
need to do. When you open
well,
up the stream, when you open up StreamYard, you got to remember StreamYard has its own audio and so does YouTube. So you have to mute the YouTube one while you're on StreamYard.
okay, I did. I did it. It ended. I was wondering if I was going crazy.
No worries. No worries. All right. Now let's check this out. For folks that didn't know, and also you, Beverly, Eligio Bishop rape trial recessed until Thursday after a COVID diagnosis. Okay. DeKalb County, Georgia, day 4 of the rape trial involving alleged cult leader Eligio Bishop took an unexpected turn at the DeKalb County Courthouse when it was announced that someone associated with the case has tested positive for COVID. Despite the diagnosis, Judge Stacey Heydrich declared that the trial would continue later in the week after a brief pause. The news prompted concern from Bishop, who expressed worries about the risk of getting sick. Bishop told the judge that he did not want to proceed with the trial. Judge Heydrich assured Bishop that everyone involved in the trial had agreed to move forward. That's when Bishop raised additional concerns, saying he felt he wasn't being represented well and feels like he is being railroaded. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go for that one. In response, Judge Heydrich informed Bishop that he does not have to be present in the courtroom for the trial, but the proceedings will continue with or without him. Bishop continued to complain, saying he wanted to fire his attorney, Robert Booker. The trial, and Robert Booker is probably like, man, if you don't, how dare you? But hold on. In any case, or he could be like, thank you, because, man, I'm not getting paid a lot for this. Either way, but just a joke. The trial has been recessed until Thursday. The prosecution rested its case on Monday. I didn't know that. After playing his interview with the police for the jury. But then again, that's just yesterday. So that's right. Okay, they rested. That's true. All right, Bishop's full 45-minute interview with the police was played for the jury. He denied the rape and posting revenge porn, saying he has proof he did not do anything wrong. Well, let's see if the proof comes forward. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for the update on the audio. Yeah, and that's it, folks. So this man is on recess. His trial is on recess till Monday. He's going to get a new lawyer. The judge said that it's going to continue with or without him. I don't know if that means it's going to continue with or without a lawyer, but I think
they're gonna Zoom him.
Yeah, but I think he even if he gets a new lawyer, I think there's limits to him ducking the.
He going to jail. He going to jail.
Yeah, it's because
they
they got
too much
something
video
for that.
of all that stupidness he was doing, especially with that thing about the kids. They're gonna say he don't need to be around nobody.
I think so. He's
going, and he needs 60 plus.
Oh, that's what. Okay, you think he needs 60 plus? I mean, there's not a lot of people that's going to have any type of empathy for him being incarcerated, and and it's due to his public persona, what people
He's
have
not
seen.
stupid. He's not stupid. He's very smart. He's so smart till he is stupid.
Right. He's very smart. He's up there with the, until you do something. The smart ones like this seem to get this kind of outcome too. So smart, they land their ass in jail forever. I mean, I think there's a bit of denial there though. If I could speak about his psychological state, like a lot of denial about what he's been doing, a lot of what do you call it, dismissiveness, easily able to dismiss other people's feelings. Now, keep in mind, whether you did something or not, people feel a certain way about you, and you don't have to dismiss their feelings for you to disagree with them. You see what I'm saying? And you could show empathy for someone's feelings at the same time you disagree. You can, it doesn't have to be so like dismissive. And I think he's shown a pattern of just dismissing all of it. I told that person to smack you, but and they did smack you at my command, but so what? How bad is that? I mean, when you have he's on tape saying he can't understand what's wrong with what he said there about I have sex in front of my son. You don't understand what could possibly not be right about that. He doesn't understand how, and see, that's the key thing. There's a area there where, you could communicate better. So, so that people really understand what you mean, instead of communicate in a way where people could possibly misinterpret it or see it in the way that most people see this, which is like, damn, son, you wild. That's how people see him. That's how people see him. They see him as out there, Yes, they say Anna Okofa. Yes, let me put this. Let me put this in there. They said, well, hold on. Is it up on the screen? It's up on the screen right now. Let me read it here. Let's see here. It says, ELIGIO Bishop rape trial recessed until Thursday after COVID diagnosis. DeKalb County, day 4 of the rape trial involving alleged cult leader ELIGIO Bishop took an unexpected turn at the DeKalb County Courthouse when it was announced that someone associated with the case has tested positive for COVID. Despite the diagnosis, Judge Stacey Hydrick declared that the trial would continue later in the week after the brief pause. The news prompted concern from Bishop, who expressed worries about the risk of getting sick. Bishop told the judge that he did not want to proceed with the trial. Judge Hydrick assured Bishop that everyone involved in the trial had agreed to move forward. That's when Bishop raised additional concerns, saying he felt he wasn't being represented well and feels like he is being railroaded. In response, Judge Hydrick informed Bishop that he does not have to be present in the courtroom for the trial, but the proceedings will continue with or without him. Bishop continued to complain, saying he wanted to fire his attorney, Robert Booker. So, wanted to fire and fired? I don't know. We're going to find out. But it seems to me like when a person say, I want to fire my attorney, the attorney be like, son, I'm out. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. I mean, it's a wrap, son. See you later.
He has a PO, a PD. He has a public defender. So, they don't care.
I mean,
some of them are good. Don't get me wrong. I shouldn't say that, but some of them are real good. Because I know somebody that had a rape charge on him, and that guy, he tore the person up. He really did good for the guy.
If that was a public defender, in my opinion, that public defender was doing a pretty good. Now, it's a hard case to defend, but I think he was doing what a lawyer is supposed to do. What else was he supposed to do? I thought he did well. He questioned the witnesses. He counter questioned them. He seemed like he made a little bit of something. He seemed like he was doing the right things, but and people have their own views about this. Maybe some of the witnesses did better than others, but to me, it seemed like the defense attorney was on point. I mean, I don't know what he want to fire him over, but I did hear that I'm not sure how true this is, so I will say that. But I did hear that it's not the first lawyer he fired or wanted to fire. Or I heard that there was a couple that he dismissed leading up to the trial. So I don't know how relevant that is, though, because that's just part of the law. You have the right to do that anytime you don't feel like you're getting your getting your side of justice done. So, he is a defendant, and so he has the right to be defended properly. So I didn't see any error by his defense attorney. So, it's going to I think it's a wrap, you know what I mean? I think it's a wrap, but
Yeah.
this is the day in the life, of some types. Now, it's worth mentioning that there's platforms that had Eligio Bishop on their platforms. There's other channels, YouTube channels, and there's people that promoted him. You know what I mean? And one of them is a very popular one by the name of Cy Netter. He had this guy, and apparently there's been other troubling types on that platform as well.
Yep.
Polite is one of them.
Always did.
Right. And so I think, this is another example of how this doesn't work in reality. Whatever Eligio Bishop was doing, it does not work. It's not a good thing. You can end up being a criminal and brought to justice. And so I hope at the very least, people that go into these type of beliefs take a caution to it now and say, you know what, maybe this is not what needs to be done in the name of freedom and justice and reparation. So I'm just like, I'm really just, it's hard to watch these kind of cases, and it's hard to keep explaining to people that what guys like this are doing, and not just guys. Matter of fact, it was one woman in Georgia I researched that came up. She was also prosecuted, a cult leader under these, the same type of prosecution, and she went to jail. She was prosecuted and was found guilty recently, and
A
I
black
believe
lady.
and she came up dead. And she dead.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow. But you know what? The people, well, mostly women follow people like him, Nature Boy. But they weak women. They're so weak women. They're really, really, I don't know. I think they're looking for a daddy or something.
Oh, really?
That's what I feel like. Cause some of that stuff they say that he had them doing, I'm like, you know what? Call me daddy and stuff. That's why I couldn't stand Monique. I stopped following Monique, the actress. When she started calling that man daddy, that was it for me.
Oh,
I
can't
handle that. I can't handle that.
Yeah.
And I was a daddy's girl. I grew up with my father. I took care of my father until he died. My father was 90. I had my father all them years. So I don't call nobody daddy.
It's very weird to be calling somebody, calling other people daddy that ain't your daddy. And Lord forbid you be involved in certain kind of relations, like the sexual type, with anybody named daddy. But, as you see, it's promoted in our media. It's promoted in rap music. Look, you know how many times, look at Puff Daddy, for example, Sean Puffy Combs. How often does he use that phrase, daddy, daddy? And, they promote this kind of thing, daddy, girlfriend and boyfriend, a boyfriend being called daddy. They promote it, and look what's up with him.
Yeah, that's how he got in trouble, because having people call him daddy, and it might not be nothing to it, but it don't look right.
But look at what they saying he's been up to outside of being called, outside of the daddy.
Exactly.
So I mean, this type of behavior needs to be confronted. I mean, just for the sake of people having healthy lives, not to try to demean anybody or but let's see here. Jackie wrote, can they prosecute him as a cult leader even though he's on trial for rape? Yeah, they can. This, just him being prosecuted for those charges does not mean he can't be prosecuted for
It's
more.
not against the law to be a cult leader.
No, they can't prosecute him for being a cult leader. Not that. But
That's
other
what she
acts.
asked me.
Yeah, sorry about that. But other acts associated with him being one that are criminal, of course, yes. If he's found if there's other crimes that other people that allege that he committed other crimes and they have some evidence, he could be prosecuted further. And you never know, maybe civilly also, because apparently from some of the witness testimony, they said that you would have to turn over your possessions, turn over your money, turn over your property.
That ain't working. Oh, I definitely ain't calling nobody.
You ain't joining, and me either. But it seems like, and check this out, Jackie. When you're incarcerated, you now have an address. You're not moving around. So if there are civil charges to be brought, they can still happen, and he will be served in prison. You see, so
he definitely going. He's definitely going, but especially in Georgia too. Yeah, he's going.
Mm-hmm. He going. Now let me end out on this one, because there was this. It's not about ELIGIO Bishop, but it is about this overall cult thing. And just so people know, all the cult leaders are not men, apparently. And there was one recently that died in prison just the other day, and or 2 weeks ago, and it's a woman who was prosecuted. So I'm gonna review that, and then I'm gonna go out. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Bev.
just let me say this. That thing with Fonnie Willis is going to start back at 2:00. I'm gonna watch that. I want to see, because they making that guy testify again. I believe them telephone.
You should leave your handle in the chat so people can come to your page and subscribe and see you live.
Yeah, because I got a live schedule for 8:00, but I wonder why nobody. YouTube sent me a message. They having a problem with putting the stuff on the page. They said they're working on fixing it. So it's YouTube stuff. But anyway, yeah, they trying to get him to. But I think those phone calls are fake. Those records.
You talking about the Fannie Willis trial, right?
But you know what? Because I listened to Midas Touch, because they stay up on stuff, and they're good. They don't put no information out. And one of the real big time lawyers, big corporate lawyer, one of them, big defense lawyers, handles, the $1 million cases and stuff. He was saying that the white guy, Roman, he worked with Roman, and he's seen his work. And he said that filing looked like exactly what he worked. And he said he does tricks for the CIA. I'll talk about it. I was writing stuff down that I want to talk about tonight. But everybody should go there and follow him.
Okay, but leave your handle. Leave your handle.
I'm doing it now while we talk.
Okay. All right. So let me play this last clip. This is we was covering the ELIGIO Bishop trials postponed till Thursday due to COVID and some due to COVID, right? It's going to continue on Thursday. So just so everybody knows, spread the news. Now, we've had some conversation a lot over here about cult leaders being men and males, and the role of men in these cults and the crimes they committed, but also people that help them. And sometimes the people that are helping these leaders are women too, that are being involved. But I wanted to just put this out there, because a couple of weeks ago, a cult leader down south, I think it was Georgia, one of these states also, she was convicted, had been serving time for her crimes, associated with her being a cult leader. And but she died just a few days ago, maybe a week ago, roughly, not more than 2 weeks. But in any case, we're going to hear that on the way out, y'all. I appreciate everybody for showing up today. Click like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And feel free to hop up on the panel anytime and offer your opinions and views. as long as they're done in a way that's respectful to the others here and in the audience, I ain't got no issue with it because everybody has an opinion. So let me rock this one. Cult leader dies 42 days into 30-year prison sentence. This was 2 years. Okay, this is 2 years ago. I'm sorry. But here, this really happened. So it's not just men who are cult leaders. You know, there's been some women too. So here we go.
Cobb County convicted killer and ex-cult leader Anna Young has died. The Marietta woman led the House of Prayer cult in Florida. A judge sentenced her to 30 years in prison for the deaths of 2 toddlers in the 1980s. Young had been in prison just 42 days before her death. Joy Fluker, Young's daughter, says Young was in the ICU on oxygen Monday night. This is what Fluker had to say about her experience when we spoke with her earlier this year.
Those are things I can't live with because I feel like if I live with those, then I'm just as guilty. This is what I'm ashamed of. This is my life sentence.
Former members of the cult said Young, known as Mother Anna, would torture and abuse members for their sins by various means.
There you have it, folks. That's real talk right there. Yeah, so you know, it's an issue that's all around, and people need to be concerned and up on it. And we don't need to mix in liberation or reparation and all these things that are just, that are really just. With we don't need to let opportunists, you know, twist our minds and get us to think we have to become slaves again for the sake of liberation. You see what I mean? For the sake of reparation, for the sake of justice, you know. So on that note, I'm out. I appreciate it. Beverly, did you leave your handle out there so folks can subscribe to you?
I'm putting it in here now. I'm sending it out. It's there. Now it is. Okay. You see it? Now it is.
I don't see it in the back chat. Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it. Boom. Okay.
Yeah, I was making sure it was right because I ain't that good.
Okay. Subscribe everybody to Bev's channel. Subscribe to Pumpkin's channel. There you go. Yeah, she just got her laptop up again. But Pumpkin got a lot of political talk going on. So she's up on the politics in the US. So everybody subscribe and give her a little
I'm up on that black girl nonsense. That black folk nonsense. I'm so sick of it. First it was Fonnie Willis, now it's Wendy Williams. Who's next? You might be next.
I feel you. Somebody got to be on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm right there with you. I agree with a lot of your positions on the politics in the US. So we're gonna carry it on. All right, I appreciate you, Bev. I appreciate everybody.
Right. I gotta go too.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't stay here through it, but I got things to do. Oh Lord, that was my Mother's Day years ago.
Yeah, I got you. All right, now. So I appreciate.
Take care, everybody.
Okay, Bev. All right. Thanks also to Michelle for hopping up and giving her. Oh, was she? She hopped up and she gave her insight and gave a little pointers on some things regarding the trial. So I appreciate it. Everybody else in the chat, thank you, Ann. Thank you, Jackie. Divinely Inspired, Andrea, of course. Let me see who else was here. David was here earlier, right? Peace to David. Thanks a lot, bro, for coming through, man. It's been a minute too. We gotta get up on the Kemet thing in history. Tar came through. Appreciate that, Tar. Thanks for coming up, bro. Empress Way. Yeah, thank you, sister, for coming and sharing. And Trinity Travels. Blessings to you. Thanks everybody once again. I'm gonna call it a day, and we will be back at you later.
Introduction.
it up.